Hello and welcome everybody to episode 38 of Collecting Justified. We're all assembled, late as ever, Christopher Allen in the chat. Yes, we definitely always take our time to assemble. My defense, we were here on time. We were just yapping behind the scenes. So, and not even about anything important, to be honest with you. But if you're new here, welcome to Collecting Justified. If you're watching on the replay, make sure you're here live next time. It's more fun live. You can heckle us in the chat, make fun of us, type whatever you want. If you're a longtime viewer or a Justified channel member, thank you for being here. Make sure you drop those exclusive Justified member emojis in the chat, especially the Cuppy one. I think the Cuppy's my favorite. Sorry, guys. I know all your faces are in there too, but Cuppy's my favorite, okay? Sorry about that. But guys,
the David emoji's not your favorite, Justin?
No, not even the Andrew and Gel.
Damn.
Andrew and Gel isn't even my favorite. I don't know. Yeah. You know what? Second favorite though, David, I'll give it to you, is Captain Carrot. So yeah, David's I don't think you're on the podium, man. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Damn.
Jealousy is an ugly trait, Justin. Jealousy.
My third favorite's probably the Bat Credit Card, I think. Yeah. Sorry. I don't know. You're in there. How many emojis are there? Like 10, something like that. You're around 11.
Easily in like the bottom three, right? Like,
yeah.
With the trivia episode, right.
Yeah. Oh my God, don't hurt my feelings, David. Not this early in the episode. But guys, episode 38. We're here. We're going to talk Thunderbolts tonight. So disclaimer. There will be spoilers, but late in the episode. There will be. Oh, we lost Alexi. Alexi said, "Spoilers." No, I'm gone. There will be spoilers, but we'll give you fair warning. The spoilers will be at the very end. We're going to do the housekeeping. We're going to do pickups. I have some extensive pickups because I missed last week. So for the most part, I was here for what, maybe 5% of the stream there at the end. Maybe, I don't know, maybe 3%. I don't know. You guys still, yeah, almost a 3-hour stream even without me, guys. So that confirms I am not the problem. I'm indeed not the problem.
I guess it doesn't mean you're not the problem. It just means you're not the only problem.
It means you contribute an extra 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's what it is.
Oh yeah, there we go. There we go. Like Kenny's contribution to Dan's stream, right? With that 30-minute video. So I'm just kidding, Kenny. I'm just kidding.
Exactly.
But after pickups, we'll talk quickly about incoming price increases and everything. I guess the weekly tariff update, right? Weekly toy prices and how I guess we won't be able to collect anymore sometime soon. Mm-hmm. After that, we'll do non-spoiler Thunderbolts talk. Then at the end, we'll get into full spoilers. So that stick around for the whole stream. If you want to dip out at the end, if you haven't seen the movie, you can dip out at the very end and then come back and rewatch the stream. Just rewatch the entire stream after you've seen Thunderbolts. You know, let's get those views up, guys. I don't need another trivia episode on my hands. Okay. So yeah, don't worry, John Morrissey. Spoilers will be at the very end. We'll give ample warning and like warning.
We'll be spoiling Iron Man 2. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Iron Man 2. But guys, let's get into the housekeeping. So this is Collecting Justified, your favorite, most consistent Saturday night toy live stream, 8:45-ish p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're always at least here by 9. So just file in at 8:45, wait in the green room with everybody else. There's refreshments unless David hasn't replenished the fridge. I'm going to put that on him. But come hang out. We've got a fun group here. The chat's usually pretty lively. There's always at least 4 or 5 of us here talking toys and trying to justify this plastic crack you see behind all of us. So with that, you see who's not with us today. Andrew, sadly, is down in the basement. I mean, guys, we need the funds. Tariffs are kicking in, and the Andrew Basement Fund is affected as well. So if you don't know, the basement actually goes so far down. He's actually in China right now, but he can't climb up. We have to have him shipped from China every time he gets out of the basement. So he is tariffed.
It's going to get expensive.
So we're going to have to raise those prices, and I appreciate your understanding going forward. So let's free Andrew from that basement, get him back over from China. So as far as supporting the channel, you can also become a Justified channel member. It is a 2-tier system. There's the Justified MVPs, and as Kenny calls them, the lesser, the Justified. Okay. We love them too, but the amount that you choose to support this channel, we appreciate everything. It keeps the channel going. It pays for StreamYard, editing, everything. It pays David's salary. Don't let him lie to you. He makes 6 figures. I only make 2. So, I mean,
I have 6 figures like here.
Yeah, exactly. He makes 6 figures a month.
It's 11 cents an hour.
Exactly. So go ahead, click that link down below. Especially if you're on iPhone, it gets kind of hazy on, YouTube, and Apple don't get along too well. So just click that link in the description and become a member of the Justified. We greatly appreciate it. And there are, perks right there on the screen. And speaking of the Justified channel members, we do at the beginning and end of each live stream, we thank our Justified channel members. And at the beginning, don't worry, you get the quick rundown. I read it in the beginning. At the end is when you get, like someone like Kenny, reading it for an hour, But in his defense, at least the last 4 times that happened, you guys voted for it. So I don't know. I don't know if that's math. It might have been 3 times. I don't know. But thank you to all the Justified channel members. Let's start with the Justified MVPs. Z-Man12Bat, aka Agent Z-Man. Thank you, Z-Man. The original, very first Justified channel member. Legion X, Rick. Thank you, Rick. Also, everyone can thank Rick for all the amazing Cuppy illustrations you see around. There's a couple different ones now. Compulsive Collector John, our number one fan. He loves to hate us. My best friend John Morrissey, who never watches any of Kenny's stuff on Kenny's channel. I appreciate your loyalty, John. I know you definitely weren't on Kenny's Thursday night live stream, Friday night last night. I know you definitely weren't in there, so I appreciate it, John. David, Evan, and Smith, right there, all three of them on the screen with us. Michael Davis, thank you, Michael Davis. St. James, who made a cameo appearance Friday night for Kenny's Thursday night live stream.
That's right.
And Kenny himself in Counterculture.
Who
And
also
going
made
over
an
to
appearance.
yes. He was there too. He was there too.
Yeah.
A day late, but he was there. Also the Justified, Dan Who Reviews, which can we give Dan Who a round of applause real quick? I know card back, don't worry, you don't have to clap. You don't have to clap. But Dan did a 10.5-hour live stream last Sunday. God bless that man. I cannot imagine. And I talked to him like the day before a little bit and was like, you going to break that record? He's like, oh, I'm not going to go the full 10 hours. I'm just want to break the record. So that'll put me right at about 8 hours. Well, he broke the record, guys. I think before the first group was even off the screen, we all knew like, oh, this is going to take a while. This is going to take a while.
You let a bunch of nerds talk about their entire collections. Like, how is that not going to take a half a day? Like, come on.
Frankly, it could have gone 20 hours if not reined in a little bit. You know,
I actually chopped mine down because I was gonna do the whole 10 hours, and he told me not to, or he would spaff on my minge.
I could have put a 25-minute video together. You
know, we did a video, a live stream much like that. David, Rick was on there with us. Alexi, you were there, right? Was it just me? It was just me, David, and Rick, I think.
Well, a 10-hour live stream? No, we didn't do that.
No, but it was about our displays and our collections and everything. But
yeah, I haven't been on with Rick. I remember that episode though, because I remember Rick's displays being fire.
Right, and that went over 3 hours, I'm pretty sure. So I can't. God, you get into how many? He had 6 or 7 groups of 4 people, each of 4 or 5 people. Yeah. So it got a little rough. But bravo, Dan, bravo. I mean, everyone drove him off of streaming. He's in another country now. He left. He said he's not coming back after that. So
and we need to hold Dan to his word because he promised that David would get his moment on the next Legends and Liquor.
Oh,
right. So,
yeah. David's AOL internet minutes ran out, and sorry, David. Sorry.
It's fine.
But you're here now. You're here for the important live stream. You're here for the important live stream. You saved the high speed for these 3 hours. So you hit your limit. You hit your data limit.
Maybe
but it's
Streamlabs. Maybe Streamlabs is the problem because I don't have a connectivity issue on StreamYard.
Right? Yeah, David said, well, I'm definitely not the problem.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm never the problem, just so everyone knows.
Never the problem.
Never me.
So thank you, Dan Who, for supporting this channel and for giving us 10.5 hours of entertainment last Sunday. Also, thank you, Christopher Allen, everybody's favorite, Rich M, Displayed Once, Kurt K, everyone's favorite collecting grandpa, Cole's Cave, ya boys got toys right here on stream. Bring toys to work. I almost skipped Michael. What was it? It was the end of my cameo appearance last week. I skipped Michael's name, or I made him think. I faked him out. I made him think I was skipping him. Jesse Hubbard, Super Turk 5000, Mikey Moonboots, not Miley Moonboots, Jay's Toy Collection UK, aka the House Renovator. If you need an attic torn down, call Jay's Toys Collection UK.
That's right.
Chi Chi Collects, Jared Byrne, Kyle M, Yves, Kevin Beatty, Arvin Shaw, VIP Princess Productions. Yeah, girls got Legos. Yeah, guys, you get what you get. Cedric Brown, Mars, Makata, and Uncaged Otaku. Thank you, everyone, for being a member of the Justified and supporting the channel. And this little sneak peek, if you've seen the thumbnail, you've already seen this. I just put the thumbnail at the end of the housekeeping every time. Today, like I said, we will be talking Thunderbolts. We'll we'll be talking Thunderbolts. Well, it's whatever. So, guys,
I feel like David's face really captured
no
Yelena's mood for the whole movie.
Yeah.
I was so honored to be Yelena in this thumbnail. I have to say, like, she is the main character in the movie. So like main character energy, I'm all about that. Thank you. I didn't say anything in the chat when you first posted the image because I feel like Justin would have been petty and like switched the heads around to not let me be Yelena.
I thought about it.
Yeah,
I truly thought about it. No, that's I know you so well, David. That's why I was like, David's got to be Yelena because I already know. And yeah, and Alexi was sad. He was Alexi. Is that what you're saying? Yeah, Alexi has to be Alexi. Kenny is Ghost because he ghosted us after he outed passwords to Dan Who, and I don't think and I don't know what Andrew has in common with John Walker, but John Walker did kill that guy. So in another country, so Andrew might have a shady past. So I don't know.
Andrew killed that guy.
Andrew might have killed that guy. I don't know. He goes to the basement every now and then for a reason, guys. Okay, so let's say hi to the chat real quick. Cardback was here. Dan Who smells. I think Cardback and Dan Who have a little friendly rivalry going on here. They're just calling each other out throughout the live streams, and I love it.
Cardback is just world building.
Cardback, tell us about your world building, my friend. Tell us about your world building. David was here bright and early. Kenny was here as well. My best friend, John Morrissey. It's time to talk. The stream will begin exactly at 8:45 p.m. Justin Standard Time. Exactly. Your girl's got Legos was in the background responding to what we were talking about behind the scenes. She didn't know we weren't live, I guess. And let's see, Christopher Allen. My mouse will work. The squad takes its sweet time to assemble. We sure do. Alexi was here as well. And Kenny. Thank you for the super chat, my friend. Did it leave?
Oh, yeah.
Did it leave? Where'd it go? Oh, it scrolled down. There we go. That's one. Help me, please.
Apparently that's not teal, though. It didn't.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
It's more of a light blue, I guess. It looks teal to me, though. I'm just saying.
So, guys, it is up to you. So, the goal is 5 teal super chats. So, it's what? $4.99 or more, or $5 or more. To get Alexi at the end of the stream to read the members list as the Red Guardian. So you either want that or you want Kenny's regular 1 hour readout. It's up to you guys. This is democracy at its finest, So
I'm gonna have to down this.
It's up to you guys. But thank you, Kenny, so much. Let's see what can we play for Kenny right here. Let's see here.
Did we just become best friends? Yep.
Here, scroll. Cardback saying the sculpted. Flooded. I don't know. The sculpted abs market is flooded. The hot nerds with bellies is untapped. Oh, thank you, friend. Z-Man dropping his 7 month. We've been at this for 7 months, fellas. 7 months. Justified member chat. I remember when we were preparing, he told us only spotlight a few displays, but a lot of people showed the whole collection. But congrats, Dan. I felt like slight shade. Slight shade being thrown there. So let's see here. Anybody else? Your Girls Got Legos is here. Flapuma is here. Yo. Thank you for being here, Flapuma. Wolfpack is here. Dropping the Wolfpack emojis. Chi collects. Hi, everyone. Glad I could catch the stream live. Thank you, Chi. So, guys, let's get into pickups. I don't know about you guys, but I do have a lot to show off. I have some good. I have some bad. I have some happy. And I have some sad. I've got it already to you guys behind the scenes. So, does everybody else have something to show off? Anything?
Yeah.
No, nothing. Nothing. Terrorists already hit Alexi. No, nothing. David, you've always got something.
Always.
Always. David, take it away. Take it away, my friend.
Main character energy once again.
Wow.
First up. Okay. So I'll start with good old McFarlane in case compulsive collectors out there tonight. We're starting the Rainbow Batman. So I have Batman in purple suits. Found him this week in a GameStop. So good old Batman in purple. Still looking for the orange suit.
Are they they're doing them like in like a full rainbow? Because I know the orange I hadn't seen the purple though.
Yeah, orange and purple are out now.
Okay.
Green and yellow are due out next.
Okay.
So
they're doing them individually?
Yeah. They're like platinum variants.
Okay.
But I haven't seen an announced red. And then like there's supposed to also be a blue, like, but he's like all like powder blue, like it's not like gray with the blue cape, it's like blue. And then there was also a rainbow striped Batman costume. So the Bullseye Batman, which I showed off previously, was part of that story. So there's been a bunch of crazy costumes in that one issue in Detective Comics. I think it's 241. So I'm excited to finally get purple Batman. Anybody out there that knows of an orange one, I want it. So hit me up.
Keep an eye out.
Yeah, let me know. And then we'll go in green. So Green Lantern's armor suit from Return of Superman. Alexi posted that he patterned this construct after Steel's costume. So I think we have some Steel reused parts. The hammer, I think, is from Steel figure.
Exactly, yes.
But
that's where I remember it from. If someone in the chat remembers it differently, please put it in there. But I could have swore it was like he was taking inspiration from Steel and he had a broken arm and that's why he did the armor.
Realizing his arm was injured when he did this construct. So I think you're on.
And now I'm realizing that Adam Eve did the same thing in Invincible, and I won't get into any more spoilers.
Yeah, this is a crazy looking thing, but you get me with crazy looking figures. So yeah, I needed it. Are you going to get this, Kenny, because of the Superman link?
Yeah, if I ever find it, I will. So.
I was shocked to find this on the shelf at Best Buy. So
interesting. Okay.
I had only seen pictures of people finding it in Walmarts, so I wonder if it's a Walmart exclusive. But
I'd much rather go to Best Buy, so I'll keep an eye out there.
Keep an eye. It was just that one on the shelf, so it might just be starting to turn up now. Then I had sort of a surprising, like, I never expected to buy these, but I have Super 7 Thundercats.
How do you feel about these?
So my crazy logic is, so I found these at Target in the collector aisle. And my crazy logic is if I just saw one, I was going to leave it.
Yeah.
But I saw two. So because they have a buddy, I bought two. So they scan at the store as $36.99, which is kind of crazy. But they scan on the app as $34.99. So I made them price match their own app. To give me them for $34.99. So you spend $70 instead of spending $0. It is crazy logic, but they're really cool. You know, they look just like the cartoon.
I know, that's why I'm so torn. Like I got them too, and I like that's my conundrum there is like I like them to have the Thundercats on the shelf, but I don't know, man. 35, and then people complain about Marvel Legends pricing, and I'm like, oh, well, this makes me feel a lot better about every single Marvel Legend figure I've ever bought. So,
yeah, I mean, I think if it was a different time, and if I wasn't like, I know people are panic buying figures right now because we don't know what's happening with the toy community, but if it was another time and there was other things on the shelf that I would have wanted to buy, I could have probably easily passed on this and been okay with not owning any Thundercats representation. I'm not super nostalgic for the cartoon. Like I was aware of it, like I'd seen it. I don't remember any storyline from it. I could probably sing the theme song and that's about it. I don't think I could name all the main characters, but it was just really cool to see a good looking toy.
That's not like, yeah, no, I agree. That's my exact attraction to them as well, was like, oh, okay, boom. All right, yeah, let's do this. Same reason I bought the Lion-O last on the wave one of those, right? So
how's the coloring on him? Was he pale though?
He's so pale. So like I wouldn't recommend that one. Like I'd probably go the Ultimates route on Lion-O and then build around that with the more less expensive versions, right? So
yeah, I mean, the thing is, I'm not gonna like overtly seek these out in stores, you know.
It's just like it's there.
One,
yeah.
And it was like it looked good for what it was. I'd probably pick it up, you know. You just gotta get me in the right mood, you know.
I know.
Yeah. And then rounding out, you know, we do have Tigra from Thundercats, and I found, well, this is thanks to Collecting Rush, good old Rush. He was able to get me the Tony the Tiger in his Target in Florida and send it my way. So I received him like the same day I got home with the Thundercats figures.
How many whiskers?
Look at all those whiskers.
Yeah, okay.
Look at all those.
Just checking. Okay.
Amazing. And I love the like spinning basketball effect that they have, the little whoosh that goes around the basketball. He does have a nice bowl of Frosted Flakes. They don't look very frosted though.
Is it only the one basketball and then you put the effects on, or does Tony have balls?
Yeah, no. To be determined. But he comes with one basketball and the swoosh effect is removable.
Oh, okay.
Just sits, rests on it, you know? Yeah.
Looks cool.
He also comes with a hand that holds a spoon for the Frosted Flakes. And the soft goods has the little Tony inscription on that, and it's tied very cool. Like, this is Rebel 10 Customs, I believe, that did the
that's right, yeah,
bandana. So
wow, that's cool.
Yeah,
I was gonna say you could put it on Bishop, but it says Tony on it, so
I mean, maybe Lucas Bishop's middle name is Tony. You never know.
Could be.
John Morrissey, why is Tony holding a bowl of mac and cheese? I know, right? It does look suspiciously like a bowl of mac and cheese, and I'm not mad about it because I love mac and cheese. But it does not look like they are Frosted Flakes. They just look like normal cornflakes.
That is a huge bowl.
They look like Sugar Smacks.
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
I thought that was part of the remix, you know? Frosted Flakes in a pot. That's a crunch ass. Oh, that's such a
wow, maybe. How does the rest of that song go, Alexi?
I don't recall.
Oh.
Yeah, maybe if we get more super chats, I don't know.
There we go.
So this is the big get. Thank you again, Rush. Appreciate it. You really helped me out. And
Rush
Jada
is here.
continues to knock it out of the park. Yes, he hears his name, so he appears. And nice tail, you know.
Yeah. The tail does a good job helping him balance too.
But you don't need to. Like I had him standing the whole time like this, and he didn't tip. I think the weight, he's got a lot of weight in the torso.
Yeah.
I think it keeps him pretty sturdy, you know?
Yeah.
Unparalleled did a review of this figure and really went in on the articulation, like how well he kind of moves. Like he's got these two joints in his torso. He's got good range. So I don't think anybody's going to be disappointed with Tony. Check for your whiskers.
Unless you might be missing a whisker. Yeah.
But yeah, those are my pickups this week. So
nice. Not envious at all for 4 whiskers there, David. Kenny, what did you pick up this week, my friend?
Okay, all right. So started off the week strong with a little Silver Age Superman. So that came in.
Jealous.
And
hot off the truck.
I gotta say, look, give McFarlane all the crap you want about the figures. This is a very fine Superman figure. So I said this last night. I said it in my review. If you're gonna buy one McFarlane Superman figure, this is the one to do it. And for me, like one of the biggest, most minor things is the black outline around the Superman symbol on the chest, right? Because it adds that pronunciation and I don't know, it's such a fine detail, but so cool. And face sculpt is great. Curl looks awesome. He's even got the blue in the hair to give it that sort of like, comic-esque highlight. So yeah, really.
I do
really
like when they do the blue and black hair to give it that like shadowy. Yeah.
When I was a kid, I have like deep brown hair, right? But like close to black. When I was younger, it was a little bit darker too. And I always asked my aunt, I was like, why don't I have that blue in my hair? What's going on? I thought that was just how it worked. So I was a little upset as a child, but
fun fact,
you're not Kryptonian.
When I was a grown person in retail, I did get a blue streak in my hair. Like I had somebody dye a blue streak like from here straight back. So you could have done it, Kenny. You could have been there.
I could have. I should have.
You still can.
I still can, I guess.
It's not too
Next
late.
week.
Next week,
maybe.
Kenny gets his hair dyed blue. Tune in.
We'll see what happens. Yeah. Keeping it Superman and going with that same line.
What?
Man.
This landed on my doorstep about 3 or 4 hours ago. So
that's the GameStop?
Yeah. So Cyborg Superman has arrived.
Nice.
This looks so good, man. And Alexi and I were talking about it 2 weeks ago on the recap and looking at the images, and it delivers, man. Head sculpt looks fantastic. The torso looks really good. Cyborg pieces, yeah. I'm really looking forward to.
You're gonna rip it open right now, right?
No, I'm really looking forward to opening this and putting the review together. But yeah, it looks so good. Artwork is awesome too. Yeah,
really nice.
So
I think are we gonna actually miss McFarlane DC when it's gone?
No, but
no.
At least there are some good things coming out on the tail end.
Yeah.
In other news, as I've gone back and forth about opening the world to collecting new lines of figures and talking about panic buying, tariff proofing my collection by retroactively collecting currently available figures from other lines. I may or may not have broken into 2 new lines this week.
Oh my God.
No.
So
Oh my God.
Kenny, no.
Here we go.
There's never been a better time to start new lines there, Kenny.
Pickups for the next several weeks are going to be both of these, and we'll see how that goes. So, this
but
Darth
at
Vader
least
looks
neither
really
of those, at least neither of those properties have like a rich history of releases or anything like that.
Yeah, there's not so much that you can already go back and purchase, right? So, although I did try to get that Mind Bender and Rock and Roll, and Hasbro is cock blocking me a little bit over there. So.
Yeah, and then they teased you about it, emailing you saying they were still in your cart.
Yeah, how passive aggressive is that? What was that about? Are you still deciding?
Did you want to buy these?
What's that? What was that about? But the biggest pickup for the week, something I've been waiting for months. Dan Hu said it may take a year to arrive, but it did not.
The Joker talk show set. The Joker talk show set.
Joker talk show set. Just kidding.
Oh my God.
Dante's Inferno Room from Beetlejuice. NECA.
Boom.
It has
Does it come with the live nudes?
It does not.
Hell
I wish
yeah.
it did.
But,
Yeah.
Did you open it?
Not yet. It also arrived a couple of hours ago. So
that's huge.
Really.
What if
does it come with the figure?
Potatoes.
Yes, it comes with the figure. It does not come with the girls though, so I feel like they kind of left that out. But yeah, I don't even know how I would review something of this size. So maybe I do just open. I don't know. Maybe I just do
very passionately.
Nah, you're probably like the first one to get it. You got to review it, right?
I think so. Like St. James said, he hasn't even received like the FedEx notification that they picked it up. So
damn, Chi Collects is
Man.
canceling their order. No live nudes.
no live nudes. Cancel that order.
Damn it.
However,
just
I
wait
was
till your second
disappointed.
one gets here, Kenny.
I was gonna say I was a little disappointed. The buy one, I thought there was a BOGO on NECA Dios, and I did not get the second one. So I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know what's going
Not
on.
too late.
Guys. We got John Morrissey. Well, that's one. That's one there, Alexi. Don't super chatting $6.16. Can't wait to hear Red Alexi Guardian read out that member list. Let's make it happen, folks. Four more. Let's see. What do I have for you here? Thank you, John Morrissey.
Thank you so much for being my friends.
Let's make it happen. Make it happen. All right.
But yeah, that's it.
All right. So I guess Alexi doesn't have any pickups, but let's see here. Let's bring me up. I do have a good amount.
I'm gonna pick up this beer and have a swig.
There you go.
There we go. I did want to highlight that John Morrissey in the chat went over his pickups. He said he had a great week in pickups. Didn't get Tony the Tiger. He found Savage Land Professor X in the wild. He hasn't found a Target exclusive in the wild in a decade. And Banshee arrived. Good pickups. Let's see here. And
He is great.
he is great. And I think I already brought up Flipuma's. Flipuma had his. Yeah, Flipuma said his weekend pickups. He got Rom the Cake Knight. Surprisingly good figure. That's a tempting one. I've really been limiting my Marvel Legends, and they're going to be limited even more now with potential price increases. So let's see here. Speaking of figures, I can't remember what. So in my weekly Wednesday wrap up, I went over some pickups, but you get to see them again if you already saw that. So who cares? So.
You mean you don't want that content to be so exclusive for those members?
It's so great. You got to see it twice, David. You got to see it twice.
Okay.
Speaking of McFarlane, I got my Bruce Wayne Build-A-Figure wave in. This is a great wave, guys. Well, here's the thing. My love-hate relationship with McFarlane. This is a great wave in the sense of it's great to have a suited Bruce Wayne figure and have a second chance at these figures without spending close to $100 a piece on them.
Right.
So that's great. And McFarlane didn't do too much work on them. So there's that. Poison Ivy, I think we can all agree, right? Weakest of the wave, right? Weakest of the wave.
Yeah.
David, what did you say? That the face is like a sex doll face?
I said a blow-up doll, but it's the same thing.
Yeah. At certain angles, it doesn't look too bad. These tiny feet, man. These tiny feet, it's not going to stand up. All these female figures, it's not going to stand up. The Phantasm is what I was most excited about in this wave because I love Mask of the Phantasm.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like, and David, do you have the original one?
Yeah.
Did it have like shading painted at the top of the head up there? Because this one doesn't.
Remember. I don't think any of them had cell shading at all originally.
It just, in all the artwork and in the movie, it always looked darker. So you kind of have to angle it right where the hood can create that shadow, but it just doesn't look right at certain angles where you don't see the shadow, if that makes sense. But happy to have this.
But wait a second. That's a female figure.
Yeah. And, well, all the feet are tiny. I guess she's upsized in boots. So, yeah.
Spoiler.
It would be really cool if there was a way to like pop off the torso and like put the revealed character torso. Also, spoiler alert there, Alexi, on like a 30-year-old movie. Come on.
I'm pretty sure I saw Phantasm in theaters in like 1997.
I just rented it today. I was going to watch it tomorrow.
Rented it.
At Blockbuster?
Yeah.
Hollywood Video.
I found the card, dude. Yeah.
Oh man, look, we had before the Blockbuster opened in our small town, we had a movie rental place right next to the Little Caesars. It was called Movies, like with like several O's. Yeah, it was cool. It closed down once the Blockbuster opened.
That makes
But
sense.
then Bane's cool. Like it's big. You know, he's big enough. That's what she said. But he's got a stupid face. Like stupid face. He needed an extra, like a raging head.
Like he
Bane's
looks like low IQ, or
it just
like
just look like.
But why is it stupid?
Bane didn't
He
pass
should be
algebra,
angry.
David.
He should be angry. He needs some emotion. Like Bane's thing is he's a big muscle head and he's always like raging out. Like
They should have done the bug-eyed face, like when he actually beats him and he like cuts his line or like maxes it out.
Requiring to make a new head sculpt, and McFarlane's not gonna do a new thing on a non-Build-A-Figure.
I know. So you're saying no Bane expressions pack, huh? Huh, David?
Doubt it.
But standout figure of the wave has got to be the Hardak. And we kind of talked about this. It's just the all-around great figure. It uses the better Batman sculpt with the solid torso. Comes with the cape with the like
show me your skin hood.
Yeah, your skin hood. Then comes with the extra cowl and cape. Without that, with the extra cape. A whole extra head where it's like no skin at all. This half and half. And the sword, extra hands, and the coolest thing is the Bruce Wayne Build-A-Figure head comes with this guy. So if you want to buy multiple Hardacks to display them with the different heads, you get an extra Bruce Wayne head to pop on. We'll get a Batman body every wave. You can pop that Bruce Wayne head on any suited Batman body.
This is the second time you brought that up, but you haven't shown it on camera once. Can you show us what it looks like? Can you pop that off and
third time's a charm?
Yeah, let me see. What if I just broke it right on camera?
You'd be frustrated, I'm sure.
You'd be so mad.
You can just put it with the whisker.
Fire.
And he's smiling.
So good.
Damn.
Smiling. So good. So
Yeah,
my
good.
plan
Cool.
is to get a second Hardak, display, with the different Hardak heads on the shelf. Take the extra Bruce Wayne head and pop it on the Kenner homage Batman next wave on the blue Batman. So that way he's on display because you want the different paint jobs on display. And my like wave 1 and wave 2 Batmans are like one's on the Bat Cycle with the helmet on and the other one's in the Batmobile with my extra Robin. So I just dropped something. I don't know.
Lost one of the heads.
Oh God.
Damn.
It's next to the whisker.
Hardak sword. Oh, and then I get an extra sword. Maybe I can give that to Nightcrawler.
X-Men 97 Nightcrawler, because then it looks more animated.
Yeah, well, that's the only Nightcrawler in my collection there, David.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So let's see here. And sticking with Batman, the animated series, I apologize, guys. I have a lot of pickups. I told you guys I was starting to have some FOMO with all this tariff crap and stuff getting delayed because we're on a time crunch with McFarlane with the animated series line, right? It took forever for this wave to come out. We don't know. We know we're getting at least one more wave that's been greenlit. It's going to come out. It will. We just don't know when stuff's getting held overseas before they ship it over here and all that stuff. So, but he might actually not do another wave. So I was like, out of the Rogues Gallery, who's the main one that hasn't been announced yet, though, from McFarlane being re-released. So I had to backtrack and get a Penguin. Batman the Animated Series Penguin. So
breaking news! I just saw McFarlane announces Penguin Batman the Animated Series. It's crazy. It just happened right now.
So
what's the articulation on that thing,
Kenny?
Yeah, it may or may not be
move?
AI.
Yeah.
Does his neck move?
His head turns. Yeah.
Okay. Does he have a waist swivel at least?
What if I just
don't break
snapped
it? Don't break it. Don't break it. Don't break
it. No waist swivel. No waist swivel. But it comes with a lot of
Keep trying.
accessories.
Keep forcing it. Force it, Justin.
Yeah. Just keep going. Keep going.
That's not the first time David said that to me. So that it comes with that closed umbrella. It comes with the open umbrella too, and a spoon. So there's a theme here.
That's
'cause
it.
Tony
That's
also
worth
comes
it
with a
right
spoon.
there.
I
And
thought
a
it was
little
like for a
teacup,
teacup. Like he had
extra
a spoon
hands.
to
Yeah.
stir his teacup, right?
Yeah. And he came with a stand, guys.
Mm-hmm.
So this is going with one of
because
my
that's the
female
OG.
figures. Yeah. So this is going with one of my female figures. So because those don't want to stand up for the life of me. But yeah, honestly, if he announces another if he does release a penguin like in another wave, I'm not even going to be too mad about it. I was able to get a pretty good deal on that, and I'll just pick up the other one, and I'll either have 2 penguins or I'll turn around and sell one, and it'll make up for whatever. I don't know. So I've been alluding to it. Speaking of spoons, this guy came with a spoon as well, and apparently everyone's making fun of me for I'm missing a whisker. There's a whisker missing. There's this mac and cheese there, guys. Right there. Yeah.
Which whisker is missing? Which one?
Bottom right whisker.
Damn. That's the best one.
Figure.
Yep.
I was about to go set up like a picture too. I very hardly really do photos anymore on my Instagrams. I just don't have time. But I have one of the starting lineup basketball goals, and I have the Street Fighter. I was gonna have him dunking over Dalsim with like his arms reached up and everything, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna go set that up right. And I noticed the whisker was gone. I was like, you've got to be fucking kidding me.
I'm messaging Cole's Cave right now.
Right? Yeah, there we go. But so yeah, there's that. It's an amazing figure. David already went over it. It's awesome. Jada just it's awesome. And I guess I'm gonna email Big Bad and see if I can get like a replacement or something, because I don't know where the whisker is. I don't know what's going on. But
they watched the stream, so you already ruined it.
Already ruined
the Target
it.
doesn't, so
yeah.
Oh, there we go.
You have a different option.
I'm pretty sure if you got one from Target, you could return any figure in that package, and they would be
Right.
like, checks out.
You could, you could. You could put Tigra in that package.
Yeah.
Like, well, it wasn't the right figure.
I'll just put Kenny's Cuppy in it. There we go. I haven't seen Kenny's Cuppy yet. So
Justin, don't you have Chester Cheetah, right?
Yeah, I do.
He came with 2 heads, and both of those heads have whiskers.
Oh, you're right.
They definitely.
So if you're only using one of those heads,
you're right.
Violence against Cheetah right now. Wow.
Yeah, I've got to look at that and see if the whiskers match up. That's smart, David.
I mean, how different could they be?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
So
just lumping all striped cat feline figures in with each other, huh?
Cheetahs are spotted.
You're a bigot.
Not all whiskers are the same.
Educate yourself, Alexi. Wow. Educate yourself, Alexi.
This might be the most controversial, a controversial figure to show off, but because
I think Home Dude's actually onto a plane.
David and Kenny, I don't know if you know all the drama going on with Legend of the White Dragon. Alexi, I know you know at least a little bit of it, right?
I don't even know what that means.
So Jason David Frank, Tommy, original Green Ranger, his last movie he ever did was with Bat in the Sun, Legend of the White Dragon. It's been like 5 years in production. It still hasn't come out. He passed away while they were filming, and they keep saying it's coming out, keep saying it's not. It's who knows? There's all this drama right now with like leaked phone calls and stuff and all this, but it's still the last project Jason David Frank ever did. So if Valaverse did Legend of the White Dragon figures, I've got the 2-pack already of the regular White Dragon and Dragon Prime, which is the villain of the movie. Then they did a con exclusive translucent. It's like him. He's supposed to be him powered up, and it's got a printed, like copy of Jason David Frank's signature on the box. So it's just really cool. And this way, if I decide to open it, I can have one with the helmet on and the regular White Dragon with the Jason David Frank head on. Or I can just leave it in box. I haven't decided yet, but I couldn't not pick it up because it's cool.
What in your I think it was the members only video, you said that regardless of what you think about Bat in the Sun or like what the drama is there, do you mean regarding the filming of that, or did people have problems with Bat in the Sun as a channel before?
Well, It's not. It's a lot of talk about like people's opinions on like Aaron, basically.
Oh, okay.
And if he was using JDF and people questioning their
Gotcha.
friendship, I don't freaking know.
Okay.
You know, I feel like you don't know that unless you're in the room. There
Yeah.
are like
Right.
you can just search YouTube and look up like JDF leaked phone calls because he recorded a bunch of phone calls and stuff and it's been leaked.
Gotcha.
You can listen to that and make your own
Okay. Opinion.
decision, opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a lot of drama, but to me, it's more about JDF being attached to it. And hey, it's
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I just collect toys, right?
JDF was a legend, man. Everyone who
him.
ever met him at cons or like went to signings, that they never said anything negative about him. He was like, he was down for the cause.
Yeah.
He was always in to be like, you know, give time to fans. So rest in peace, JDF.
In the leaked, so there's leaked audio and there's leaked text messages, and in all those, when he's talking about, oh, it shouldn't take this much money, blah blah, like this and that, he's talking about like doing stuff for the fans, and he wants to do right by the fans.
Yeah,
and I'm a big believer in people show their true colors when they think nobody's watching.
Yeah,
and that's not him,
David.
like, yeah, right, David. And that's not him like talking because he knows people are watching. That's him talking on his like personal text messages and phone calls. So that says a lot. That says a lot about the type of person he was.
It sounds like we have our topic for next week.
Right. There we go. Oh my gosh. Aaron Bat in the Sun follows me on Instagram. So,
so he may or may not.
He's one of those 10 people.
See, guys, see what David just did? Imagine that behind the scenes times 10.
Right.
He's a bully. He's a
David
bully.
Bullies me, guys. He bullies me. Great transition. Speaking of bullies,
this David does not display model behavior. I will just say that.
There we go. Speaking of bullies, I got Bully McGuire right here.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. How's the
how's your head?
The like how's the head?
How's the what do you mean?
How's your eyes? Is there dirt in it?
Symbiote.
The eyes? Like on the Toby head or the Spider-Man head?
I'm just wondering how the symbiote piece is. I don't know what these guys are talking about.
Oh, yeah. If it's on there, good.
Yeah.
You just pop the head off, you slide it on. So
now we're talking.
like its own like loose piece.
Now we're cooking with gas.
Yeah, man. And you can put this on any Spider-Man figure. Potentially, it can be reused for maybe an animated Spider-Man.
Oh, okay.
Like we said before. Yeah. So it's awesome, man. Shout out to the guy at GameStop who there was nothing on the shelf. I had gift cards, like the $5 monthly gift card and all that stuff to use, and there was not much on the shelf. And I heard them talking at the front of the store about, oh, this stuff's awesome, and they were like opening stuff and putting it on the counter. I guess getting ready to put it out, or maybe like wanting to set it aside and buy it themselves and resell it. Who knows? And I walked up there. I was like, oh, y'all about to put that stuff out? And what are you interested in? Said, oh, that Spider-Man right there. And they hesitated. And they're like, I guess that's fine. Yeah. I'm sorry that I'm purchasing something at your store right now, but yeah. So I walked out with Toby right there. And
I guess that's fine.
I guess that's fine. I guess you can buy something at this store. And I've got one more pickup, and I'm a little. So this is a model kit. This is a Pokemon model kit. And it's one of my favorites, Scizor from Gen 2. And it's awesome. The scale is great. And I've got very limited experience with model kits. I put like the Beetleborgs model kits together. I've got one Yu-Gi-Oh one. And they usually stay together pretty well. This thing looks great, but the second you go to move it, it starts just falling apart. So model kits, am I right? But it's going to do great just sitting on the shelf next to my other Pokemon because it's hard to find Pokemon figures, guys. So you find a good model kit one and it can just fill in a gap. And it came with a nice stand.
You have a Scyther figure, don't you? The
Select? Yeah, it's the Select hasn't done one. It's a just one of the regular Jazzwares like battle figures, like with like a action feature. And I have a Scizor one too, but it kind of just sucks. It doesn't like to stand up. So Home Dude talking about blockies.
Oh, there you go.
Yes. Blockies are great. Great. And my son has some of the small Transformers. Don't have any of the big Transformers, but Blockies are great. The Blockies Pokemon are amazing. So that is my mountain of pickups. That's what happens when I miss a week. So just got that's so much to show off. I have something else, but I'm going to show you guys after the stream. It's not a toy,
Okay.
but
How much do we have to pay this time, though?
well, you know, bills come due, Kenny. The bills have come due. No, it's something exciting. It's regarding Cuppy, so it's something exciting. Okay. So, guys, let's get into our main topic, and this is where the show's kind of just going to get turned over to you three. So we're going to talk non-spoilers. So non-spoilers first, and we're just going to talk about Thunderbolts and the impact you think it's going to have on the MCU going forward. Just talk all things about the movie, spoiler free, and then we'll give our disclaimer and our warning that we're going into spoilers, and then we'll go into full spoilers. I haven't seen the movie, but like I told these guys, I've got 2 young kids. I can't go to the movies anymore until they get a little older. It's tough to
because they're so critical of cinema. They only want to see. They only want Scorsese movies.
Like, it makes sense, honestly. Yeah.
I'm looking at my 2-month-old like, why are you writing reviews on Rotten Tomatoes again? Put the phone down. But it's tough. It's tough. It's like it's no Miss Rachel, but it's okay. And so I'm okay. The internet's full of spoilers. It's all almost been spoiled for me. So I'm gonna let you guys spoil what hasn't been spoiled for me later. And then I will rate your spoiling review of the movie. So just do a good job, okay? Just do a good job.
Seems like a lot of pressure, but
yeah, it's okay. It's all up to you guys. It's all up to you. So non-spoilers. And guys, if you're just now joining the stream, make sure we're at 105 right now for the super chats. $5 and above. We need 4 more super chats.
Should be like 1.5.
1.5.
Mine didn't count because it wasn't teal. It was more of a powder blue, I guess. I don't know.
It's pending. It's pending.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
But to have Alexi read the channel members at the end of the stream, read out our entire. Let me bring it up here. Alexi will read all these wonderful names as the Red Guardian. He does a wonderful Red Guardian impersonation. Either that, or if we don't reach the goal, it's just going to be Kenny, and we'll be here for a whole extra hour.
Just
so. So, do you want to do that to Kenny? Do you want to do that to yourselves?
That honestly, that sounds like an incentive to this group of people. All right, I don't know what you're doing.
They save money and they have to listen to Kenny do it again.
Yeah,
who knows?
Yeah.
They seem to like the train wreck. I don't know. You know what I mean?
John Morrissey, maybe. I'm not saying they are. I'm not saying they're not. So we'll see.
Should I do like a little teaser or like a sample of my Red Guardian?
Maybe,
Or just keep it.
Don't give it away
all under wraps.
Don't
give it. Yeah. If you're good at something, don't give it away for free.
Yeah,
David.
Exactly. There we go. And Carback shouting it out too. Let's get those super chats in. So, guys, Chi-Chi collects spoilers. Clap, clap, clap. Spoilers. Okay. So, no spoilers right now. So, guys, take it away. Take it away. I don't know who wants to go first, but tell me what makes this movie so great, how you feel like it's going to impact the MCU going forward, and just your general thoughts coming out of the movie theater when you saw it.
First, can the chat just kind of like show of hands, like who's seen the movie, who hasn't, so we can get a gauge of like how many people have gone out of the way to see it so far? It's been out for 2 weeks now, right? Essentially.
Yeah.
And
so
3 out of 4 people in this screen have seen it.
So that means 75% of the entire global population has seen it based on this survey.
If we don't represent people, who does?
Yeah, exactly. So go ahead and super chat in the chat if you've seen it or not. Go ahead. 2 birds, 1 stone. 2 birds, 1 stone. Right.
Thrice. Wow. Okay. Appreciate
Hardback
that.
has seen it thrice. That's awesome. Christopher Allen saw it. John Morrissey saw it and loved it. Home Dude saw it. Show of hands. Flip Puma seen it. I don't know if there's anybody that's not seen it in the chat.
Well, we've got more
Alexi
than 5
just
people in
went
the
out
chat,
to
David.
see it
Come on.
right now.
He's leaving. He'll be back in
Alexi said, "I
about
gotta see it."
2.5 hours. So
He needed a refresher, guys. He needed a refresher. So, David, go ahead and start us out. What were your general thoughts coming out of the movie theater?
So, I mean, going in to see the movie, I think I said this last time, like, I had very low expectations, no expectations around this movie. Most of the characters in the movie, I didn't really have a lot of feelings about in general. You know, background characters, like supporting villains, like Ghost. We got a fair amount of her in the second Ant-Man movie, but we've had a whole other Ant-Man movie since then. Haven't seen Ghost since. Very little info about Taskmaster. Yelena's been a supporting character in the Black Widow movie, guest star in the Hawkeye series. U.S. Agent was a supporting character in Falcon and Winter Soldier. Nobody was really a main character. So, like, going into this movie, I didn't really know who was going to emerge as the main character and who was going to, like, kind of grab hold of my attention and, like, make me care about what happens to anybody in this movie. And what I do like, and I'm really going to struggle to not be spoilery right now, but, like, what I did like is the choice of theme of the movie, which I think a lot of it ties into mental health. And I think choosing that was a really smart strategic choice, because who in the world has not either struggled with or engaged with a mental health issue on some level? So it was like a truly relatable, unifying kind of theme to carry through a movie and give every member of the audience a connection point and to recognize something of themselves in the movie somewhere. A particular struggle one character had or a different character had, and like the way they, I don't know, react to problems and hardships. Like, I think we got a fair variety of that from each of the characters in the movie. But the common theme was like how, like, connectivity and like reaching, like allowing yourself to be open and connect to the people around you to get through something together instead of by yourself. Like anybody that's seen the musical Dear Evan Hansen, this is like a superhero version of Dear Evan Hansen to me. I don't know if anybody in the chat is aware of what I'm talking about, but
I know it, but I haven't seen it.
Okay, I mean, there's a song in it called "You Are Not Alone," and it's truly like it seemed like they reworked Dear Evan Hansen into a superhero movie. But I think anybody that maybe on the surface does not have a connection or give a damn about any of these characters, you'll find a reason to care throughout the course of the movie. So that's what I really appreciated about the most. I think the story was smartly structured. I think the characters were put forth in a very smart way. And I found a reason to care about everyone in the movie. So, I mean, the hardest thing for any movie to do is to make us care. And I think they really succeeded at it. So, yeah.
Yeah, I do like going back to your, obviously, like, mental health was the overarching theme, but it wasn't that every character's mental health struggle was the same. Like, some characters struggled with, their direction in life, and some characters struggled with whether they were good enough, or some characters struggled with having a direction but not being able to pursue that direction. Like, maybe there's a hindrance, but they had a place that they wanted to be and they couldn't get there, whereas some characters didn't even know where they wanted to be. So mental health was the overarching theme, but it wasn't always like the same flavor of mental health. So I do like that.
Agreed. And again, echoing both of your points, they did pull that off very well. And not only that, like, what I really enjoyed about the movie was the way they took these sort of leftover Marvel character, not in like, well, in both the comic sense, but also mainly in the MCU sense. These sort of just out there characters from the MCU,
fringe characters,
the lesser, as Kenny would say,
the lesser than, as I like to say, and brought them into this ensemble piece, and it just worked in a way that made you care about each of these characters, right? And gave new life to these seemingly forgotten parts of the MCU in some ways, you know? So just that hodgepodge of character meld and bringing it together with a story that had very deep underlying tones, it just worked in a way that it was something that the MCU just hasn't really been able to do in the last few years, I guess, as a whole, right? There have been good things over the last few years, but we can all agree that there have been some not so good things as well. And this just took a little bit of all of those things, put it in one movie, and actually made you care. So
I think they found a really nice balance between humor and emotional turmoil. It could have been a very dark, like draining kind of movie, but I didn't feel that watching it. Like it kind of plays with this idea of, I mean, I'm still trying to like rein it in from getting spoilery, but there was a lot of like therapy exercises throughout the movie. Every action sequence kind of echoed a therapy exercise. Every character arc was them working through their trauma of choice, and coming out the other side better for it. Cardback here says Yelena, depression and grief. Red Guardian, insecurity and self-worth. John Walker, shame and regret. Sentry, loneliness and addiction. I mean, yeah, like there's a lot of heavy themes, but they're themes that all of our lives have been touched by at some point. So even though we may not have had a reason to care about these characters, they gave us those relatable roots. And again, it's so easy in a superhero movie to like build the movie through like act 1, act 2, act 3, you know, set the stage, the big fight climax and the end. And there was, I mean, there was good action throughout the movie.
Yeah.
But it didn't rely on that. It every action sequence was still a version of a therapy exercise. And like when we get into spoilers, I can kind of explain that point a little more. But these are characters that don't have a whole lot of flashy powers. I mean, there's a line in it, and there's probably in the trailers, like, so all of us just like punch and shoot, you know, like that's all that we all do. And it kind of is true. Like none of them, like Ghost has this intangibility thing, but the rest of them are just fighters. And all of the characters are very human and relatable in that way. And so you can really start to identify with them throughout the movie. And it just very smartly just pulls you into caring without even realizing that it's doing that to you. You know, I don't know. I thought it was just really, really brilliant. And Justin, you as like an emotionally damaged person, you should definitely go see this movie. Find some time.
Absolutely.
Does it
he has a totally
like,
he has a totally normal past, right?
Super great past. He's doing good.
Super.
Yeah.
I'm
I will say too, it was like, it felt like a good reset of stakes, because we got, with the Infinity Saga, we got all the way to like a cosmic problem, right? Like the Infinity Gauntlet and the stones, and you know, getting rid of half of the universe. And Captain America: Brave New World tried to bring the stakes back down, but they keep kneecapping like Falcon Cap's story, because they're like, yeah, this is gonna be really cool, but also we're gonna do like a side story that takes up most of the air in the room for like your whole arc. So this felt like a really good way to bring it back down to earth, still have like higher stakes, and then bring back like like they say in the movie, in the trailer, like all we do is punch and shoot. Like it was down to earth, but there was still high stakes to it, and it was a good way to like reset what we were doing from ground level, and then it's going to escalate higher and higher as we get into like Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars and things like that. And what you said, David, about action, I did feel like this was the best fight choreography that we've seen in a Marvel movie in a while. Like obviously Captain America Winter Soldier was the best fight choreography that we've seen in the MCU. And I feel like this time we got a lot of really good choreography. And that's when I go to a Marvel movie, and especially with people who punch and shoot, like that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at the fight choreography of it. So I was really impressed, pleasantly surprised at what they did. And that was like a big like wow factor for me.
Alexi, to your point, sorry, actually let Lorenz have the floor first because his chat is brought up here.
Yes, Lorenz said this didn't feel like it was connected to some greater thing just for the sake of it, yet you knew it was connected to the greater MCU, so they didn't feel a need to shove anything in anybody's face, I guess is what he means. But it was, but at this point, right? So
well, I mean, to that point, like they didn't, because there was a certain amount of lengths of time for each of the characters since we had last seen them, they didn't spend a lot of like extra time like recapping you on who they were or what their histories were, but instead we got these flashes of memories from each of them in a smart way, which we can discuss further in the spoilery part of the thing. But like we got flashes of important pivotal moments, I guess, in each of their lives that informed who they are to you now in this movie. So like they didn't go through a recap of what happened in Falcon and Winter Soldier. They didn't go through a recap of Ant-Man and the Wasp when Ghost's whole story. Like they kind of briefly, flippantly kind of talk about it. Oh, like Ghost built this suit because her molecules are unstable or whatever, but like they just move on. So like they didn't get bogged down in all of this like exposition about who are these people, but they did show you in the flashbacks and in those little scenes, like they showed you the psychological makeup of these people, which I thought again was really smart. I don't want to be told for 2 hours who these people are. I want to see it and feel it. And they did that really well in this. Whereas I feel like Captain America Brave New World just told you a bunch of shit for 2 hours.
Do you guys follow any like Easter egg or breakdown channels on YouTube?
Was it New Rock Stars or something like that? I think is one that I
do, but I have not watched anything relating to
I follow New Rock Stars, and then I follow Screen Crush as well.
Screen Crush. Yeah, I love Screen Crush. Yeah,
Screen Crush is always harping. A shout out to Screen Crush because I love their channel. The dog. They're always harping on show us, don't tell us. He always gets super Ryan Airy, bloody Ryan Airy, because I also follow heavy spoilers. So
is that
Ryan
the one with
Airy,
the dog?
Ryan Airy's the dog.
It's like in a video store. He's got sort of the
their theme is like an old VHS rental video store.
Where Kenny rented
exactly.
Yeah, that's right.
So he's always harping on like show us, don't tell us. Like if you have a whole scene where everything is exposition where they're like, remember that time that we did this blah 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 blah, or like, well, I feel this way because of my past where I blah 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 blah. And it's like no one wants to hear that. Like we want to do a cut back to a flash or do a flashback cut scene to like 30 seconds even where we get to see something happening. Like no one wants to
movies
hear.
are a visual medium. Like we don't like you can stand there and tell us a million things, but there's no way to tell us how to care. Like we need to see it. We need how it's portrayed to us makes us feel it. And like that's I having been with the MCU from the beginning, like I can't compare this to another movie that did it so consistently and so intelligently you weren't beaten over the head with any of this emotion, but
Right.
they like kind of let it seep into you for 2 hours. Like none of it was knock you over the head. Like it really just like they let things sit there and sink in, and like they kind of massaged it into you for 2 hours, you know?
Yeah. I think, and a little bit to both of your points, one thing going back to Brave New World, that to me served more as a vehicle, right? It was just this movie that existed to connect a few dots, and not even in a good way. It just tried to connect some dots from pre-MCU to MCU and sort of give you a melding of those things. Whereas this took all of these MCU back to previously what I said. It took all these things and put it together, but like they just did it in such a good way. Whereas Brave New World just did not have the ability to, I guess, capture us as an audience. I don't want to speak for everybody, but I think everybody in this group at least. Yeah. I'll let Alexi, do that.
I think the best example of that is like in Brave New World when the newscaster is like, President Ross's daughter, Betty Ross, who also used to date Bruce Banner. It's like,
so much exposition
say that
we don't need. Like in theory, we going into the movie know this already, right? Most of us, right? Or at least a good majority of people watching these movies know all of that exposition that we don't need. And to the point of Ryan Airy, like, show us, don't tell us, because we don't need an origin story every single time, right? Like there is a basis to build up. We're not creating new things, new characters, new stories altogether. There is a collective universe out there where if you want that, you can go and get it. We can just start from this point and tell a story. And I think that's Thunderbolts did a little good mixing of both of that, right? Like we already have a good amount of backstory, but they gave you a few little pieces to carry it into this, and then gave us the movie, which was executed.
A bit of a hot take, but fuck the normies. I'm so fucking tired of them. Like every movie has to be a jumping on point. No, like I've been watching this shit for 10 years, dog. I've been living this shit for 36 years. Like, reward me. I'm the one giving all the money to this fucking franchise.
Precisely.
Like, I'm tired of them having to be like, well, let me tell you this background with fucking 3 minutes of dialogue, blah, blah. It's like, no, I watched it. Shut the fuck up and do something.
Here's the moment where I bring Superman into the conversation, but I'm glad that James Gunn isn't going to do like a Superman origin movie, right? Like he's just picking up at a point. Like I know how we got here, but just tell me the story now.
But Kenny,
at this point, do we need to see Peter Parker getting bit by the radioactive spider? At this point, do we need that? No. Do we need to see Krypton blow up? No. Like
Krypton blows up?
Do we need to see Martha and Martha Wayne and
why'd you say that name?
Why'd you say that name? Do we need to see them get shot in the alley and the pearls break? Like
I want to see a different, like a crossover of Martha and of like Bruce's parents being on Krypton when it blows up. So then there we go. We got some crossover going on.
Do we need to see Martha Wayne deny John and Martha Kent's loan for their farm and get them kicked out? So like, and buy half of Smallville? We don't need to see that. We already know about all that, you know?
Yeah. I mean, the jumping on point is we're past that point, I think. Most superhero movie viewers. We're in the era of the superhero cinematic universe where everybody's trying to do 15 movies under the same umbrella, so I give the audience a little more credit, I guess, to Alexi's
point. Did the Godfather fucking take time to be like, this is how the mafia was built in
okay, first of all, they don't call it the mafia, it's
exactly. Like just give us a fucking story, man. Like if people are interested, they'll go find out the background. They'll ask for it. Like,
go back to 2008 and watch all of them like we had to. Okay.
Yeah. Right.
Well, the Blackster says even if people don't know for a fact, they can probably figure it out as they watch. But explaining, and again, it's how you put forth the story and the characters and the dialogue, you know. But explaining every time wastes runtime and in turn wastes our time and money.
Yes,
True.
and think about this: if you don't explain all that, people are we're curious people by not people, just everybody in general is curious by nature, right? So if that part isn't explained, what's your first reaction? You're going to Google, why does so-and-so do this, right? And then you get to go down this whole rabbit hole of things. And maybe you explore the comics. Maybe you find something else, some other medium, an animated series, a cartoon, whatever. But, leave a little bit open.
Yeah. Yeah. Cardback says, I don't mind exposition that catches the audience up a bit, but it sucks that Feige and company are saying they're 100% moving away from interconnectivity and not mentioning what happened previously. I agree. And we can't really, we have to wade into a little bit of spoilers to like elaborate on that for Thunderbolts, but I feel like they did a good job of like giving us one or two lines, even if it was like a dig at another one of the team members to be like, oh yeah, that is what happened to them. Which is I feel like a good amount of that.
I think unfortunately like
oh, go ahead.
I'll be quick. I was just going to say, I think unfortunately the concept of the MCU is something that had an expiration date, right? Especially if you just lead up to this grand event that they did. How do you come down from that and then go back up, right? Instead of kind of just concurrently having these grand events going on. I don't know. I don't know what the solution is, but yeah, it's hard to like go all the way up and then have this big momentous conclusion and then convince everybody that, hey, it's not done. We're still going.
Well, I think that you need, with creating a narrative, you need I don't think it's smart marketing to build in expiration date on that. Like, you want to continue to layer in new things that you can blossom into new projects and build to the future. But I think where MCU has kind of faltered is they planted a lot of seeds towards the end of like the Endgame phase and didn't really pay those off in the right way. And they're trying to do all of this multiverse stuff, which is very diverting and going in a lot of different directions. So then how do you give the audience a sense of like what's ahead that you're building towards when you're going in 8 directions instead of 1? Like we were very cleanly building up to Infinity War and Endgame throughout phase 1, 2, and 3. They layered, like they did the trilogies around those main tentpole characters, and then they started sprouting them off a little broader, building a team, and then like culminating with Endgame. But then you do still want to continue the franchises and continue the narrative, but you're going to have actors that don't come back. And when you've built the first phase on a set of actors and they're not here for the second phase, how do you still make the second phase of actors feel special to the audience? And so I think that's what I struggle with the most, of like loving these characters that are like secondary versions of the original characters, like the Ironheart or the She-Hulk or the Kate Bishop Hawkeye. Like everybody's a second iteration of what we loved the first time. So we're naturally going to compare constantly and like, oh, well, she's not as charismatic as this one was. And like, so like what we need reasons to care about these new people just as much as we cared about the first group. So I think this movie was like the first time, and it's a little late in this phase for that, but this was the first time that I saw a reason to really care about what Yelena is about, what US Agent is about.
Absolutely.
Like they dug deeper and they found the reasons for me to care,
They did a good job too. Like, I feel like I care so much more about Yelena than I ever did about Black Widow. Like, the only reason I cared about Black Widow's death is because of the relationship between her and Hawkeye. But that's I feel like that takes away from Black Widow as a character, that like her relationship to a man is what makes me care about her more, you know, whereas Yelena, like I want her to be happy. Like we know about her background. We know she's done just as much as Widow did and or Natasha did, but I care about her more. Like I want to see, and I'll admit,
I'm sorry. Don't you think it's interesting though that the most info we got about Natasha's history was released in a movie after the character had actually died?
Of course.
So you know,
weird
they
time.
kind of ran it backwards.
Yeah,
where, now she's already dead, so
Yeah.
it doesn't look like she's coming back. So like making us care about what she went through now that built her into who she was by the time she was killed off. Where is the payoff then for us?
Yeah,
You know?
and
like
it
you've
is
already
fair to
killed her,
say.
and now you want to make us care, you know?
Yeah, and you do have to take that into account when you're critiquing. Obviously, like your feelings are your feelings, but if you're doing like a critique of it, you do have to take into account that we had a worldwide pandemic, and that affected the release of the story because the Black Widow movie was going to come out way before it should have, and not on streaming, and so on and so forth. So that is a fair thing to say. It's hard to suss out how I would feel if the Black Widow movie had come out when it was supposed to, because it didn't. So it's an imaginary scenario at this point. So I can't say how I would have felt, but I know how I feel now. And because of what happened, you know, this is where we're at. But I do have to give them props for course correcting, because Black Widow gave us like the Yelena Belova character in a more detailed way. And you know, the trajectory was set. We got a little bit more of her in the Hawkeye series. And that, you know, I was telling Amanda when we were talking about it just between us, and I was like, I feel like I did really start to like her more when like Kate Bishop threw the sriracha at her and she was like, hi, because Natasha always relied on her sex appeal. And it was always like, wouldn't you like to fuck me? Oh, take down. But Yelena was like, hey, you know, like it doesn't really matter what you do because I'm going to take you down no matter what if I really want to. Yeah. So she could have more personality. It wasn't just like, check out my skin tight outfit. And don't get me wrong, ScarJo, she's hot as hell. Like I'm not complaining about, you know, the sex appeal aspect of it, but as a character to lead off with that and then expect people to be like, oh my God, all we did was show her tight bod and like, you know, her sexy movements, but why don't you guys care about her personality? It's like, you never showed us her personality.
Right.
It was sad and sexy.
Yeah, we got a dry sense of humor from her, which like ScarJo is a very charismatic actress. I enjoy watching her, but we did not get any true depth of who she was until after the character was dead, and we got all of that in the Black Widow movie. But it was a good launch pad for Yelena, and they've been able to build on that through this. And also, I feel like we can feel more connected to Yelena healing because we know that Natasha can't. You know, like Yelena and Natasha went through a lot of the same traumas and formative experiences in their youth together, and like whatever that did to Natasha's personality to maybe make her a little more closed off and like guarded, we know that Natasha cannot heal from that and like make something of her life and live beyond the Black Widow experience, whereas we get a hint that maybe Yelena can, and like we see a path forward for her that we know is not going to happen for Natasha. So I think like they're using it very smartly to like say, okay, well, this Black Widow's dead, but this one's alive, and she might be able to like make a good life for herself, you know?
Yeah.
So I think it's very clever way to like give more depth to Yelena, you know?
Yeah. So I haven't seen the movie, but if you three had to like rank it, when we can all agree that everything post Endgame has been severely hit or miss. Even the hits, it's really like 50-50. Like a lot of people love it, like regarding the shows too. A lot of people might like it, a lot of people hate it. Very divisive. After Endgame, it just seemed like all the magic was just kind of gone. pretty much.
Right.
And the direction was like, oh, we don't know where to go. So, and everything I'm hearing about this is it feels like there's a direction now. It feels like it's kind of, what would you say, like it's fair to say maybe a soft reset button on like, hey, let's slow it down and we're following these characters now. And now let's go into the world and expand on what's going on now and build off of this. But if you had to rank this movie with everything else, shows and other movies that have come out after Endgame, where would you put this movie? Like at the top, or if there was anything it's behind, what would you say it's behind?
Has come out after Endgame. We should just rank all of the MCU movies starting at the beginning.
There's only what 37 of them. And shows. Don't forget the shows.
Absolutely.
Well, do you guys have a top of your head answer to this question?
Well, are we including the shows in this? The post Endgame shows?
Yeah.
I mean, WandaVision for me personally.
Yeah, WandaVision was. I agree. That was very good.
Yeah, WandaVision absolutely. Loki did a lot of heavy lifting. Very dramatic, very feeling performances. And then as far as like an ensemble cast, then it would have to be Thunderbolts. Like Captain Marvel, fuck man. They had some good moments. I'm not gonna lie. I see every MCU thing. If it is in theaters, then I see it in theaters. And I really like that. A lot of people in the chat are saying Guardians of the Galaxy, and I realize by a lot of people, I mean just Christopher Allen.
I agree with Chris.
I did enjoy Guardians of the Galaxy 3, but Gunn really used that movie to explore Rocket more than an ensemble cast. And I'm not complaining about that. He did a really good job. It was very heartfelt, and I teared up in the movie. But I do feel like it was a Rocket story more than it was like a team story overall.
Yeah. But that was also the final of a trilogy. So like they did give depth to other characters in the other movies.
But
I would agree like that the third movie was not really balanced. This Thunderbolts was very balanced. Like we didn't get, I don't feel like we got, Yelena was kind of a main character in the movie, but we still got a very balanced and measured amount for each character in the movie, and they all contributed something to the pie, you know?
Definitely.
So way more balanced than Guardians of the Galaxy 3, in my opinion. But
so I guess if we had to do a top 5, then it would be, for me, in no particular order, except WandaVision is number 1. WandaVision, Loki, Thunderbolts.
Maybe just do a top 3.
Yeah, I guess those would be my 3 then. Yeah.
Kenny?
Yeah, WandaVision, Loki, Thunderbolts.
Despite what we're saying about Guardians of the Galaxy 3, I'd have to put that in my top 3. Obviously, Eternals is number 1.
No.
That
was pre-Endgame, though.
You're right. But it came out. We're chronological on this.
Oh, did it come out after Endgame?
I think so.
Because it came out during the pandemic.
Yeah, it was definitely after because I was like, well, Star Fox and Pip the Troll at the end of Eternals really should have been around before the Infinity Gauntlet stuff. So
that's why everything got messed up. And that was when everybody started to really hate the MCU.
Yeah.
Right there.
That was the downturn.
That was it.
Okay.
Far From Home, that was after Endgame.
It's not on the list, but all right.
I thought Far From Home was before Endgame.
No.
But No Way Home was after.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's what I meant. No Way Home. I was thinking No Way Home.
Far From.
Would you count No Way Home? Would you count No Way Home as an ensemble piece? I think I would.
Yeah.
I don't count
an ensemble of Spider-Man.
In my good stuff.
It's something about No Way Home. I liked No Way Home, but something about it kind of bugged me because it kind of felt like they were really leaning hard on the nostalgia for Maguire and Garfield.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah, I liked it, but I feel like they kind of used that versus telling more of our new Spider-Man story, if that makes
All right,
sense.
Here's what I'm gonna go. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go No Way Home, Thunderbolts, Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Wow, I highly disagree. But
say that again. No Way Home, Guardians 3, and what? Thunderbolts. Okay.
So
let me remind you, one of my favorite movies is also Superman 4.
I need to make the Bernie Sanders meme for that for Kenny.
Just saying.
So I would say number 1, Thunderbolts, number 2, WandaVision, number 3, Loki. For emotional gravitas. Because I mean, all of it kind of explores trauma. You know, like WandaVision is truly working through her trauma. Thunderbolts is working through some trauma. And Loki, I mean, I prefer season 2 over season 1 for Loki.
Really?
I do.
Okay.
Strongly.
I would agree with you. I agree. Yeah.
I mean, there's just more. It just felt like better stakes in season 2. Season 1, it felt like, in retrospect, it feels like it was just, how do we introduce other Loki variants and like make them distinguishable from each other, and like, oh, this one's wearing a classic comic costume, and this one's a crocodile, and this one is the female version of Loki, and this one is, the politician Loki, like whatever. Okay. But
I will say
there was like the stakes of like the universe going through a freaking spaghetti, machine. Like, does it end all of existence, or is it a reshaping? Like it was definitely high stakes for.
It was like an end of the universe stakes, just like Endgame was, but also it had more heart because there was less. I don't want to say there was less fan service, like it's a bad thing, because all the fan service in Endgame I thoroughly enjoyed. But it was a good story that also had end of the universe stakes, but there was a little more grounded like heart or feeling to it because of, Loki's relationship and his change of character and the way that it affected him and kind of motivated him to like take charge of like protecting the multiverse, And I will say, I think part of the reason that David and I agree that WandaVision is such a masterpiece is because of our age and our experience with media, because WandaVision really tapped into a lot of media and TV throughout the years. So if you had a connection,
being much younger than you guys, I don't have the same
you were born in 2000, right, Kenny?
Yeah.
You wouldn't know about any of this. Yeah. You're a young guy, but you'll get there. You'll get there.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. So like, if you had a connection to these eras of television that WandaVision tapped into, then it was, phenomenal. Yeah.
David was there for all of it.
Flipuma has a good point. At least in my opinion, Multiverse of Madness was overhated, not overrated, overhated.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of Sam Raimi, so I don't know. I enjoyed it. But
my opinion,
favorite movie is Superman 4: Quest for Peace.
Yeah.
Well, Sam Raimi directed that.
Oh, makes sense.
My opinion on Multiverse of Madness, I went to see it in theaters and I left happy, right? I left happy. Going back and trying to rewatch, I can't rewatch it. I can't. It's like the good scenes there with like the cameos and all the extra characters and everything. It was like good for shock value. But going back, it's like the story is just so messy and just it completely forgets WandaVision even happened because the writers came out and said they weren't allowed to connect anything or they couldn't watch WandaVision before this making Multiverse of Madness. So it feels very disjointed and it sucks, but because she finally got to be like, front and center and they kind of really screwed her character over. There were great moments in the movie. But overall, so I left the movie theater happy with it. And then going back and trying to rewatch it, it's like my my opinion kind of changed on it, and it soured over time with me.
I think that's a trap that the movies have fallen into. It's like they want to constantly dazzle you with like, oh, this character and this character are meeting in a scene now for the first time, and like I think we got a lot of that in Deadpool and Wolverine.
Right. Yeah.
And the with all the stuff going on and in the void, was that what they called it in the movie? Now that I've seen Thunderbolts, now I'm questioning about the void. But
good point. Good
is
point.
that right?
Yeah.
They called it that, like the end of the universe where everything falls out of the
Yeah.
Yeah, it is the void. Yeah,
it's called the void. So like
Mhm.
they crossed all these different characters from all these different studio franchises to dazzle you, like, oh my god, Blade, Wesley Snipes and Jennifer Garner and blah blah blah,
Yeah.
and you
Wait,
are dazzled
Wesley Snipes
by
was in the
seeing
movie?
certain people on screen together, but
Yeah.
there's no depth to the story to really pay that off.
Yeah.
Where this Thunderbolts, there was depth to the story, and it wasn't about dazzling with who's sharing a screen at the same time. I think Multiverse of Madness is the same kind of thing. Like, you get to see Wanda and Doctor Strange, and they throw Charlize Theron in at the end, and there's just America Chavez, and like there's just a lot. They can put a lot into a movie, and a lot can go on. But does it take you through a journey of like feeling something? Like, I can't.
Deadpool
That's
and Wolverine
why I put
is
Thunderbolts at the top.
Yeah, Deadpool and Wolverine is absolutely like cocaine cinema, because it was just
Does
like
that count as an ensemble film?
a shot of like fuck yeah for like the time that it lasted.
My top 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but as soon as it's over, you're like, I feel like shit. I feel really low.
It was definitely a fun watch, but then afterwards you're like, wait, what?
You're like, oh my god, I slept with them. Yeah.
Well, and Flapuma makes a good point. Deadpool 3 had the cameo fest syndrome that I think No Way Home did way better by letting the nostalgic characters add to the plot. And that's true. Like, I think they did better emotional payoff with the Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire version.
Absolutely.
And there was so much time between when we last had been in those universes that like you really felt something, like to see them on screen again in the costume and see them like compare 3 different Peter Parkers to each other. So like there was more to enjoy and more to invest in and more to feel about than necessarily the patchwork nonsense going on in Deadpool and Wolverine,
Just like in Deadpool 3 or Deadpool and Wolverine, when they're at the Time Variance Authority and what's his tits is like mouthing the line from the video they're watching on the screen from the Logan movie. That's how everyone in the theater was when Tobey Maguire was like, great responsibility, when they're like meeting up for the first time on the church, and like Tom Holland Spider-Man is like super upset, and he's like, like my uncle, he used to say this, blah, blah, blah. And then Toby says like, great power, great responsibility, right? And everyone's in the theater is like, fuck, man.
Exactly. And the end of the whole time through like Deadpool and Wolverine, it felt like there were no stakes too. It felt like nothing really mattered. Because like when you're just like ripping each other limb from limb throughout the movie and just regenerating, it's like, oh, so none of this matters. So then at the end, when it's like, oh, they might die, it's like, no, they're not going to die. No.
And even if they did, they showed how many Wolverines in the course of the movie.
Exactly.
So just pluck another one,
So it was a fun watch, but the rewatch feels kind of empty because you know what you're getting into. So it's like, but it different movies, So I guess with that, we can go ahead and give the disclaimer. We can go ahead and get into some spoilers. But before we get into that, before anybody dips out, remember, only 4 $5 super chats away from getting Alexi to read out the entire channel member list as none other than Alexi himself, the Red Guardian. So, and he does an amazing amazing impersonation. I'd hate for you to miss it. And I would also hate for you to be subjected to Kenny's readout if we don't meet this goal. So just throwing it out there, And David and Kenny are gone, just like that, Alexi. So Alexi,
All right.
So, it's our stream now.
So filled to have the chat here with me now.
So disclaimer: if you don't want anything spoiled for you, we're going to get into like a spoiler review of the movie and everything, and just how it affects the MCU going forward. I haven't seen it, so it's all about to get spoiled for me. I've already had a lot spoiled already. So, dip out now, come back and watch this part of the live stream after you've seen the movie. Or if you don't care about spoilers, who cares? Who gives a shit about spoilers, right, Alexi?
What's the point of subscribing to a member channel? Everything is going to end anyway.
Right.
That was
actually, just be justified. Nothing else matters, okay? Just be justified. So, he's back. He's back.
It would have been better if you guys popped up back in each other's window.
Oh,
that would have been amazing. That would have been
a bit of an Uber ride to where Kenny lives from me.
When have you ever turned down a ride?
That's true. That's for sure.
So guys, let's get into some spoilers. So just let it fly. Let it fly. This is y'all's portion of the stream. When
Yelena went topless for that fight, that was probably my favorite part of it. And I thought that was a really good combination of sex appeal and fight choreography, especially when we saw the Void's pinhole eyes and Yelena's brown eye as she was flipping through the air.
Oh my God.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice.
I must have been, in the bathroom during that part of the movie. I don't know.
I went to the bathroom after that part of the movie.
I bet you did.
The setup for this movie, like leading into it, like what it reintroduces all the characters, right? And we get a couple new characters, a death, right?
Mm-hmm.
of a very beloved character that I'm sure everyone was sad to see go, right?
So
David, who did you think was gonna die, and were you disappointed at who actually died?
Me?
Yeah.
I kind of figured the character that died, it would have died.
We can spoil it.
Taskmaster died very early in the movie. I don't know. So let me. I don't know, Alexi. Do you have a spoilery thing that you've been aching to like get off your chest? Because there's a lot that I can explore in this, but I don't want to like dominate the stream.
I guess the most spoilery thing. I mean, I do have critiques of the film, and I was saving that for spoilery because my critiques have to do with how they were portraying the characters and how Marvel character or Avengers members have been portrayed up to that point. But as far as like spoiler, I definitely knew. Like I said, I follow heavy spoilers. I follow Screen Crush. I follow New Rockstars. I'm a comic reader. I've seen every MCU property, whether it's been streaming or in theaters. So I'm hip on the theories, and Amanda and I had our own theories. Amanda's introduction to Marvel stuff was MCU. When we saw Infinity War and Loki died, she cried. I was sitting next to her in the theater, and when his neck got snapped, she was crying. So we're invested. I knew Taskmaster was going to die based on like trailer promotions and stuff like that. I thought it was pretty fucked up that they gave her that one line where she just takes her mask off and she's like, "I'm not here for you," and then puts her mask back on and then dies. I thought Red Guardian was going to die, and I thought that how invested in Red Guardian people made sense, because that would be like a shot to the heart for him to die, and it would have high stakes. We can go ahead and address that, Justin.
Oh, John Morrissey, another super chat, $6.16. Is this super chat pro Alexi or anti Kenny? You decide. Thank you, John Morrissey. Getting it done. Thank you.
Yes, John Morrissey. He wants to see the mighty Alexi read the channel members.
Oh wow.
Lexi's feeling the heat, But thank you,
Yeah.
John Morrissey. Here you go.
The things that I enjoyed the most were
Hey,
Sorry.
how you doing?
the things I enjoyed the most were the interactions between the characters and how that was the way that they revealed like their lead up to the past, where he, for example, when they're in the bunker in the first act and John Walker says, I was Captain America, you know, and then Yelena's like, yeah, for like 2 seconds. And you're like, oh yeah, he was Captain America for like 2 seconds. So that was really good. My critique is they really hammered in throughout the film how they felt unworthy. That was kind of the, other than them being like a little depressed, that was their uniting characteristic, was like, we're all losers, we're all murderers, blah blah blah. Iron Man 1, he killed more people on screen than we've ever seen those characters kill like on screen. Like we've seen Tony Stark kill more people on screen in Iron 1 than we've ever seen Yelena kill. Like she didn't even kill that little girl in the flashback. The adult agent killed her. And Tony Stark killed like 6 of those like Middle Eastern terrorists like on screen right when he got his armor. That was like the first thing he did. He was like, I'm gonna go kill some Middle Eastern. And
I got this armor. I got to show it off, you know.
Yeah, and
I'm not a
like,
Soviet.
Right back, guys.
Yeah. Wow, Justin really does not want to hear the spoilers. He decided that this is too much and it's ruining
left the
his
building.
experience.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that was my critique, is that they really hammered down like, wow, you guys are so unworthy, you're killers. Like, fucking Hawkeye and Natasha were literally assassins. Like Hawkeye did all the dirty work for like Shield when he was in operation. So
and then think about when he was Ronin, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
And then we saw him fucking cut up a bunch of people when half of the people on Earth had already been disappeared. So he did 25% more damage than Thanos did in the first place.
There you go.
So for them to portray, go ahead.
They could have used that trauma and put him into this movie, to be honest.
Oh,
he was driven by his trauma to be
honestly,
Ronin.
Hawkeye in the movie would have been a cool addition.
And it's comically accurate.
I think real world situations
much.
were preventing Jeremy Renner from being.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
Not just because he's coming off of that like snowplow injury, but he's also doing some like questionable things with his social media app. I'm not going to get into that.
Also, Disney offered him a third of his pay. There's a whole lot going on.
Yeah, absolutely. So the way that they kind of tried to sanctify, or I don't know what the word is, but like, you know, wash away the sins of all the Avengers members. They're justified, baby. You know how many people I've killed? So that was probably my biggest critique, is that they really upplayed the guilt of being killers for the Thunderbolts members. But like every Avengers team member, aside from Cap maybe, is like a murderer. Like Hulk slaughtered people unknowingly. You know, Natasha and Hawkeye are assassins. Iron Man killed people on screen. We literally saw it. So that was like my biggest critique. I don't feel like they deserve the heat that they got, but a lot of that, part of depression is self-hate. And they did play into that as, you know, them like getting down on themselves. So,
Kenny.
Yes.
What are your spoilery takeaways from this movie that like sat with you the most?
Yeah, so we've already talked about the Taskmaster thing. I too I think a lot of us were aware that Taskmaster was the one that was going to be cut out, right? Or at least had an inclination that might be the case. Could there have been some change to Taskmaster? I don't know. Maybe, but I think that was maybe the right move. But I kind of go back and forth. Like, why bring Taskmaster in if that's just the way you're going to go? Did you needed that to happen early in the movie for fan service, just to kill a character that MCU fans didn't necessarily like? Or
I think it's a bit of both, but I think for one, the audience like audibly hated the direction they went with the Taskmaster character in Black Widow. So I think killing off the character early is a bit of fan service to be like, no, we're not going to make you endure another whole movie about this character that you that you very visibly, obviously hated from the first movie.
There she is.
We're going to kill her off. Great. But I think it also was used as a way to reinforce the Yelena story, because she was introduced, like she was I saw her as the point of view character for the movie. They started the movie with her, and they started with lines of her dialogue as she's standing on the roof of on the exterior of a building. Yeah. And
looking for her,
it sounds like a suicide note that she's reading. And she dives off the building. So, like, oh my God, are they starting with like just having Yelena commit suicide?
Right, that would be crazy.
This emotional weight, like right from the beginning of the movie, and tells you in like a thesis statement where her head is at. And then it explores, like in her exposition, she's kind of elaborating to that guy that's like tied up in the lab. You know, that she's just lost, you know, she doesn't really know like when she's going to find joy again and blah, blah, blah. So we're getting more of a window into what she's going through, which is a good intro, you know?
I like that dialogue too, between her and the scientist, and like that was good sort of like epilogue situation going on right there. So yeah, I like that. That was good.
And then they build to that first action scene where they kill off Taskmaster, and Yelena's reaction, if you remember, was very she killed a lot of people and then she was killed, and it was very shrugged off. And so I don't think it's because she didn't care about that woman.
Well, no, she even said like same thing that will happen to all of us at some point, right? Because she understands, at least from her point of view, that is the lifestyle that all of these characters have, right? That there's an expiration date that's coming sooner rather than later.
Killing off Taskmaster is like a cautionary tale to like where the rest of their lives could go from this point. And it was kind of encapsulating for the viewer how detached Yelena was from like what that outcome might be for the rest of them. She was very numb to it. She was very like unfazed on the surface by it. And I think it was a good action that showcased her inner state, you know? So I don't think you could have gotten that by killing off a ghost character, because she didn't know her, you know? So it was smart in that it got rid of a character that nobody really cared about from the audience perspective. But it did take away yet another person that Yelena has shared experience with. So she lost Natasha, and now she loses this widow, this one from the Red Room. And so who does she have left that has known her in her life when she was separated from her biological family? So she needs to cling harder and reach out to Alexei, the Red Guardian, because he's the only person left in her life that really knows who she is and has seen her through multiple stages of her life. So he's that anchor. Red Guardian becomes that anchor point and super extra important to her, because you know, who else knows you? You know, like we all have those anchor people in our lives that we've known forever, who we could tell anything to, who know the deepest, darkest parts of ourselves. You know, that would be your ride or die. And for that,
my cat.
Exactly.
Sorry to interrupt you, David. I just want to shout out the people that caught those free memberships. Thank you, Justin Collects. He's away from the computer. I guess he went over there to file his 5 free gifted memberships. But if you're on the replay, shout out to Burgos LJ, Shane Shooter, Shane Shooter, you're already a member. Tac Toys, KJ Smith, and STM Figures. And I see Card back in the chat. upset that they didn't get a free membership. If you want a free membership, you have to go to the channel page and then go
And
up to
pay
the
for
3
one.
dots. Yeah. Go to the channel page, hit the 3 dots in the top right, I think, and then activate the gift membership acceptance or something similar to that. Or pay for it, just like said. Yeah. Go ahead, David. Sorry.
No. I mean, that was more. I mean, that's all I really had to say about the Taskmaster death and like.
Yeah, I know I derailed you. I'm sorry. You were saying
No,
that
you're good.
it was another character that Yelena could connect to, but then they took
That's all I have to say about that.
took that away, killing them. And you're right. I agree. They did isolate Yelena more emotionally by taking away that character, and I think they did push her relationship towards Bobby. Well, I guess I shouldn't say Bobby because that's the abusive term that he received. Bob, to develop their relationship more.
Right.
Yeah.
Justin, what? You just didn't want to hear any spoilers? You went out to go see the movie?
Oh no, I had to step out for a minute.
He went to go read the Wikipedia page and catch up.
I watched it like 4 times speed. That's
all caught up.
I did. Yeah. I did want to make sure that I updated the so Alexi, when I have no doubt that we're going to reach our goal today. So I did go ahead and add the new channel member names to this slide. So
oh my god.
So it is updated already, guys. So no worries.
Wow.
Either way,
many comrades to acknowledge.
You're either going to get a treat from an extra treat from Alexi or more torture from Kenny. It's up to you guys. It's up to you, but whatever
the choice is yours.
Oh, home dude in the chat says, did Yelena get thicker or is it just me noticed it in the face? So I believe that the actress was pregnant during part of the filming of this movie. So I think that they had to use a body double for some of the action scenes and such. So that what you sensed in the change in her physical is probably, whatever stage of the pregnancy she was in at the time. I don't know if she's had the baby yet, but I think she was very pregnant on like the red carpets for the premieres of the movie.
Furthermore to that, there was even like a statement from Florence Pugh about how a lot of critics say that these actors, female or male, should have like the portrayal or the physicality of a runway supermodel, but it's really unfair to expect that from an individual who's in film or, who is an actor, because no one is expecting a runway model to have a thought in their head, even talent to act. So for these people who are actors to expect them to have a runway model's physique is it's a really weird inequality within media. But Florence Pugh's words, not mine. Stupid bitch. Is my mic on? What were some spoilery things that you enjoyed? Like, what are some of your favorite lines that you still remember this far after seeing it?
I would say one thing that one sequence in the movie that I really enjoyed was the I guess you would call it the car chase scene, right? So they're leaving. Alexi shows up with the limousine, right? Red Guardian limo, they take everybody. It's a good limo service if you're looking for one. Anyway, he shows up. He's honking the horn. They're in the middle of the desert. He picks them up. They're driving down. Everything is going fine, and then the armored vehicles start to pull up behind, and who's going out the back when this is going on?
U.S. Agent.
And
John Walker's
he's blocking, but then Ghost tries to attack them, and they hit her with a sound.
And then Alexi is like, "Well, I have an idea," and then he tosses the Molotov cocktail behind, right?
Yeah.
And then that hits, but then the truck blows up, and flips in a way that is no way in line with what a Molotov cocktail would accomplish, right? And then we see Winter Soldier start to come up, on the bike.
Well, remember the Molotov cocktail kind of flamed out.
Oh no, yeah, you're right.
Hood.
It just went on the windshield and it flamed out, and then
Yelena
shot the
pops out of the
tire.
passenger,
which
shoots
somehow
once,
flipped the whole thing, and then you realize,
Yeah, that's what it was.
Bucky.
Right, she shot the tire, and then the whole thing just flips, which nobody was expecting because that's not the actual result that you would get from that. And then we see Bucky come up from behind, on the bike, and then he does this move that is so reminiscent of the Terminator to me, right? So he's got the arm, he's got like a shotgun in the hand, he's on a bike, he's like, and then like he's throwing the little disc bombs on the rest of the vehicles. But to me, that was such a cool action sequence. I really enjoyed that. Just seeing that on the big screen and getting that sort of piece tied into that sort of semi-comedic moment of everybody in the limo not expecting the truck to explode the way it did from the result. So and then ultimately it ends up with Bucky doing the same thing to the limo because he's also after them, right?
That was a really great sequence. They even took the time to get Yelena going back into the limo after she shot it and the Humvee exploded, and she gets back in and she's like, how the fuck did that just happen? Like they even show her expression like confused, like how the fuck did that just blow up before they reveal that Bucky is coming out of the dust. And shout out to Home Dude, because I think it was on the Dan Who Thursday stream where he was like, there's a T2 callback, which you just mentioned, Kenny, with the shotgun flip reload, but also the Mission Impossible 2 callback where he does the stoppy Indo on the motorcycle. And at first, when he said that in the Thursday stream, sorry, Home Dude, I assume because Home Dude, but he it was like, the Mission Impossible 2 callback, and I was like, Mission Impossible 2? What are you talking? I don't remember Tom Cruise. And then Home Dude was like, when they do the stoppy on the bike, and I was like, oh my god, that's right. Like Tom Cruise does that in Mission Impossible 2. And I do also have to point out, as a motorcycle rider, the sound that they make the bike that Bucky's riding produce is not the sound that bike produces. Bucky is riding one of the newer versions of Harley Davidson. Harley Davidson has a lot of collaboration with the Marvel movies. Mission Impossible. Captain America, Winter Soldier, he's riding a Harley Davidson. In Captain America, First Avenger, he's riding a Harley Davidson. And then the bike that Bucky is riding in this movie is also a Harley Davidson. And Harley Davidson as a company has literally copyrighted the sound of their engines. And the sound that you get in the movie is like a sport bike, like, but that is not what Harley Davidsons sound like. So
Alexi
point that out.
Instantly was like, actually, like in the movie.
I literally was in the theater and I was like, that's what the fucking sound like. We should leave right now.
We have to leave right now.
But that was a fucking fire scene. And then also when US Agent is like celebrating, he's like, haha, yeah. And then he throws the disc bomb onto the limo and he's like, haha, yeah. Oh, fuck. And then it blows up. Damn, that's great. Loved it. I absolutely loved it. Bucky was great in that film. He was really, I felt like he was the character that some people I've seen like comments and critiques where it's like, what did Bucky even do? Why did we even need Bucky? He's the one that wrangled them all together. If no one recalls, they were all trying to split up. They just wanted to get to safety and then split up. And then Bucky,
let's think about it.
Yeah.
They were trying to kill each other first, and then they were trying to split up. And then
but I think I don't know. I do
Alexi may have also wanted them to be a team. He had this idea, right? Yeah,
I did, and he did. Yeah, both of us did.
He did.
I don't know. I think I felt Bucky was a little less developed in this movie, though. Like, he wasn't, they didn't really explore any trauma of his. Like, I was kind of thrown in Brave New World about him being a congressman. Like, I don't know where that came from. And then,
no, that was out of left field for sure.
Right? Like, I don't remember there being a build up to that. And then
that was
they stayed in
you're right. There was no build up in Brave New World, and then they just tied it into Thunderbolts.
Yeah,
I guess we're going with that. So
and never really explained it. But but I do think, like, one of those has anybody been to therapy? And it's okay if you don't want to talk about
what the fuck? No, I'm kidding. Yeah.
No, I haven't truly, but I've seen a lot of Dr. Phil, and so I feel like I'm qualified to say, like, there was so much therapy exercises throughout this movie. So in the first act bunker thing, there was that long tube that they had to escape from, and they couldn't figure out how to do it and didn't know how tall it was, and they realized they had to all, like, link arms and, like, crawl up with all of their legs equally to, like, get to the top. So it was this dark abyss above them, and then by the time they got to the middle or ish, it was this dark abyss below, and they kind of had to just lean into this unknown of, like, how long the journey would be to get past the darkness, and just push forward and work together to get to the top. So that in itself was a therapy exercise crafted into an action sequence in the movie.
Honestly, that sequence was actually sort of a microcosm of the theme of the movie.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. Like, it was truly, like, you can find the therapy. Yeah. Did you not catch that until I just said that?
No, I did. I'm just saying. But, like, it's
no, but you talked about, like, Bucky kind of brought them all together and they were trying to split up. But think of how many instances throughout the movie that Ghost disappeared, and, like, they were like, is she gonna come back and, like, let us out? And she kept coming back, and, you know, she had every reason and excuse and opportunity to just dip out and abandon them for the rest of the movie and go about her life. She had no, like, probably the least connection to any of these other people, but she kept coming back. And so I felt like that was an example of how isolated she is in the world. And, like, she found a bunch of other people that are isolated and feel alone. And, like, the point is to keep showing up, to show that you're there for people.
Yeah.
And she continued to show up. She continued to come back. And Bucky had nothing to do with that, you know?
Yeah. I liked Ghost's role in the film, and I liked Ghost's role on the team. I mean, she had some really cool powers. They did good by nerfing her with a bit of exposition where she was like, I can't do it for more than a minute, and I need to see where I'm going, or I'm going to end up in a fucking, like, mountainside. And a lot of people have kind of critiqued, like, wow, Ghost was barely in the film, blah, blah, blah. But Ghost was a supporting character in the Ant-Man film. So I felt like it was a solid expansion of her character, and I wouldn't be upset. I mean, we're going to see her again in the next iteration of things, but I liked what they did with Ghost. I felt like her fighting style was very useful. I mean, she's the one that killed Taskmaster. So I thought it was pretty cool. I didn't feel like she was underused or overused. I was whelmed by
just
the
enough
amount of use.
that
Ghost got.
I mean, and that's the thing. Solid. They didn't presume to make her any more than she was, you know?
Yeah.
None of these characters, they ever tried to kind of big them up to be more than they are.
Exactly.
But they just kind of dug deeper into what made them what they are. I would say there was that point where that side of the building was about to crush the little girl, and each of them kind of added themselves to keep lifting the wall until it flipped back over. And that was yet another, like, therapy thing. Like, the burden is heavy, but, like, together they can overcome it instead of better than by themselves, you know?
I was kind of annoyed in a lot of the Easter eggs and breakdown videos because going back to the mile-long tube where they all had to work together to get up, every breakdown video that I saw was like, oh my God, all of them back to back, they form the asterisk from the title card. And I was like, oh my God, shut the fuck up. Please shut the fuck up. Like, so stupid for like, that's your big thing. No breakdown or critique video that I watched said like, that's how therapy works. You have a dark hall ahead, you work together, you get to the middle and you have dark behind you, you have dark in front of you, and you work together to get through it. No one said that, David. You should start your own video for specific breakdown aspects, because from that scene, the only thing that any video said was, oh my God, they formed the asterisk from the title card. And I'm like, downvote. Well, fuck you guys.
I think I started to recognize more of those therapy Easter eggs like by the end of the movie, because they did it. Every action sequence could be tied to that.
Yeah.
You know, so I probably in the moment when I was seeing the tube thing, like it didn't click for me, but like going back, like every action sequence, they all banded together to get through the physical challenge, you know, and every time it kept being about them coming back together and working together and supporting each other. Yelena with Bob was constantly checking in with him, check in with your friends, make sure that they're okay. You know, like give them an opportunity in a safe space to speak openly and honestly. The themes, you know, the only way out is through, and hurt people. Like when we would get insight into when the void would affect somebody and you'd get a flashback of their trauma. We got that one scene of Val. Do you guys remember when she's a little
where
girl?
She rats out her own dad?
Yeah. Like, and so that's all we learned about her.
What a
and
shitty
that
kid.
This was like a formative traumatic event in her youth.
But Justin,
she has not healed from that. And she carries that with her, and she probably doesn't talk about it to anybody. And that is why she's such a driving force in this movie, but it's very selfishly driven. Like, she's not out to help any of these people. She's out to help herself. Yeah. But she's consistently like revisiting trauma on other people through her actions and decisions. Because
how did you guys feel about her assistant, the character of her assistant?
I enjoyed her.
Yeah.
Do you guys know, have you heard this potential of who she could be?
Her necklace?
Huh?
Her necklace?
I didn't notice the necklace when I watched the movie, though.
I didn't either.
So,
I did.
Okay. So, yeah, so spoiler alert, like the name of the character is Mel. And in Thunderbolts, Melissa Joan Gold, I think is her full name. But she's Songbird in Thunderbolts. So, this character was a bit of a whistleblower and a little bit of a informant to Bucky throughout the movie. So if her
necklace was a songbird.
Okay. Yeah. So it could, and I think the director made a comment that like if you're paying attention to an emblem that she wears in the movie, like that could give you an idea of what she could become. So I'm interested in that too. Like
totally.
Who knows what will come of Mel in the next movie.
How would she get those powers though? Because the character was just a regular, like, you know, fresh out of college, political science
Songbird
major.
In the comics gets like a necklace that she wears that creates like that chest piece that harness piece that she wears around her shoulders. I thought that gives her
the amulet that gives it. Yeah.
I never really read Thunderbolts, so I wasn't sure, but I did recognize the necklace she was wearing.
Well, she's gonna fall into radioactive waste.
That's what.
We'll figure it out.
The goggles, they do nothing.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And what was your guys' favorite fight scene in the movie? So we've got Act 1 between the protagonists, all in the vault.
Right.
And then we've also got also in Act 1 when they fight the soldiers, who are the SWAT team members that are raiding. And then after that, we've got when they all take on Sentry individually. And then, of course, I guess we don't really have a fight scene after that. I guess before the vault, we have Yelena's hallway fight scene in which she's taking down the lab that created Sentry.
Right.
And then after they physically fight Sentry is kind of like the last fight scene, because he's physically unbeatable after that. So they really have to appeal to his humanity. So,
well, I think my most memorable fight scene is the shame room tour through, like, they all kind of, so, and that's another like therapy thing. So like Yelena goes to the edge of this abyss and walks into it, not knowing what that really means for her. Is she dead? Is she gone? Like, and I still don't fully understand like what the void powers are. Is it a mental, like, is it the astral plane that they're in? You know, like I don't know, but
yeah, what happens to their corporeal
right
likeness? Like
because they all
where's their
showed up
physical
back
body?
after they fought through it. They showed up back and fine.
Yeah.
But you really don't know what this other dimension is that they're embracing. Yeah. But fighting through the trauma rooms was very informative of Bob. And, you know, like, it's memorable with Bucky with the chicken costume. Because
the meth addict chicken
through Bob, right? He was a meth addict chicken sign spinner guy. And then, like, the safest room he found was, like, the attic where... you know, his mom was being abused by the dad.
Yeah, in that scene, where he's in the attic and he's looking through the floorboards at his dad abusing his mom, and then his child self kind of stepping in. There was a connection to that and the tunnel climb, because when they get to the top of the tunnel climb, and Bob's like, "Oh, I didn't really think about how we would get into the door," and then U.S. Agent says, "Way to go, Bobby," and then he mumbles to himself, "I always make things worse." In that scene, when he's looking down through the floorboards, his mom says the same thing. She says, "Way to go, Bobby. You make everything worse." So U.S. Agent calling him Bobby is a callback to his childhood. Of like,
the trigger.
Right. I always, a trigger of how he makes things worse. And then after they save the day, he doesn't call him Bobby again. He calls him Bob. Yeah.
I mean, they take you through that whole exploration of his traumas, and none of those traumas are outrageous or different from, I mean, it's an abusive household that he grew up in, you know, like it's a very relatable thing for a lot of people.
For sure.
You know, so like it kind of brought everybody's traumas back to like normal human ground level, and you know, any of us could be affected the same way. And how do you get through it? But to get through it, when Yelena is encouraging Bob to like fight the shadow self, she then sees it starts to overtake him, because he's like embracing the anger and the fury of it, and it starts to turn him into that shadow self. So then she changes tact and goes and embraces him and reminds him that she's there and that he's not on his own, and you know, to just let it out and like let go of it. So, you know, sometimes the first plan of how to attack trauma and get through it maybe is not the best. Maybe that can pull you in deeper, you know. So I think it was very, I felt like I went through a therapy session watching this movie, and it sort of equips you throughout the movie with different tools to attack the trauma that is holding you back. You know, like it talks you through every kind of option you have to get past and through trauma and heal. So it was really something brilliant, and they did it in a superhero movie through a superhero lens, but it was so human still, you know?
Yeah. I talked to Christopher Allen after he saw the film about that same thing. I was like, I thought it was a great evolution of themes in the MCU, because Sentry was literally unstoppable. Like, he had psychic powers. He was physically like unable to be overcome. Like, it was all about the humanity of the character. And it was even better that Yelena was the one to do that, because she also was dealing with that. And she was the most human character like in the film. So the humanity of it,
even though all the traumas are different, they all connected through the fact that it was trauma, you know? And so them helping each other with their tools of coping got through it. There was one line in the movie that you'll probably all remember, but there was like a audible reaction from the audience where they were all kind of arguing in the street, and Yelena was like, "That's why your family left you," or to U.S. Agent, and everybody in the audience was like, "Oh,
No.
like wow, deep, like low, like that was the reaction." And like up until that point, U.S. Agent was portrayed as a jackass like throughout the whole movie. He was not a likable character, but people clearly felt for him by that point, that they had that reaction for Yelena just saying a couple of simple words, but words that cut deep, So it really showed that the audience got on the side of all of these characters, regardless of how they were portrayed, that the asshole personality was like his reaction to his trauma. Like he puts on this big, boastful, like clings to his wins in life to like mask his failures, So but everybody got on board with him by that point. And like, I think by after that point, we all were just like, okay, he's an asshole, but he's hurting too, So like we love him anyway. Cardback says, I like that John Walker is still an asshole and didn't necessarily get a redemption arc. It's subtle things like him not calling Bobby anymore, or getting the cactus berries for the girls, with subtle ways to show he's still human and has a heart. Yeah.
That scene when they were in the abandoned like auto garage, when Bucky rounds them up and he's getting a phone call, and he's about to convince them to like be a team, and then he's like, he just addresses John Walker directly. He's like, I know your wife left you with the kid, or like took the kid and left,
and the rest of the group finds out at that moment.
Yeah. And then Yelena looks at him, and he kind of just like, I
Also,
mean, we saw the crying baby, and him being so detached and like in his phone, and like the wife yelling at him, like, you got to watch the kid. And, like it was such a small little intimate moment, but it told volumes about just where he was in his.
When he raised his voice at her, I was like, is he going to punch her through the wall?
Right? You don't know. And we got hints of like how far he could go in Falcon and Winter Soldier, but like we didn't get much more of that, like seeing his life outside of the contents of the movie. But it was such a small scene, but it just told you so much with subtle little harmless lines of dialogue. It was really brilliant.
Really good.
My roommate had a feedback about he didn't like the visual portrayal of the Void, and that he wanted to see more dimension in the form of him. He felt too flat with just a little pinhole eyes. I actually loved that he was this truly formless abyss.
A cutout of a human that was just black.
Before we get into the Void, can we talk about the Sentry costume?
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Homelander 2.0.
There's that. There may also be a better version out there. I don't know.
Okay.
Could be.
Does that mean you weren't pleased with the way that they put it together?
I'm just thinking that maybe in the 80s, there might have been a better option. I don't know. Justin, do you have this ready? All right. Here we go. Okay. Tell me why 1980s Sentry was better than. Okay, that's okay. That's how I get the Superman 4 stuff in. Right.
Noise.
Anyway, he really should have had the big nails too.
It would have been a nice touch.
What character is this from Superman 4?
It's Nuclear Man.
Oh, of course it is. How foolish of me to not know that. It's right there on his chest.
If you didn't know.
That is spot on.
If you didn't know, from the Canon films, Superman 4, Quest for Peace.
Nuclear Man.
Yeah.
Very 80s.
Main antagonist. All right. Well, I guess Lex would be the main antagonist, but what? Why what?
Why is it so similar? Why is it so similar?
I think the creator of the Century probably has an affinity for this movie, just like Kenny, because Century, I think, was created in 2000.
There you go.
Yeah,
he's a good man, or
that was
they're
20
a
years
good
before
person.
that. Northern Nomad in the chat, and I'm going to read this as Northern Nomad in all caps. I was mad that Sentry Void wasn't a natural blonde.
That was a great reading.
Yeah, I think so.
That was also a good line when she was like, "Did you dye your hair?"
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we know he's vulnerable to hair dye.
But it was all cosmetic. It was so cosmetic, It was like that was through Val's lens of like, what do we portray to the outside world?
Yeah.
What do we have? What facade do we have to put on to be embraced and welcomed and endorsed and supported? Like, do we need to be blonde? Do we need to wear this bright yellow costume to evoke a mood of sunshine and rainbows? And like, there was so much of a facade that was in that Sentry design to me. And the Void, you could argue, was like his true self. I didn't mind that it was formless. I didn't mind that there was just a shadow self, because it kind of mesmerized you and made you like stare deeply into it until you could see more. But you'll never see more. It's always just gonna be that formless void. That's the what is it? The dark voices in your head. The flip side.
How shocking was it when Void comes down, people are starting to just disappear. Building stuff is crumbling. Everybody's trying to save who they can. The little girl standing there, the thing is about the concrete piece is about to crush her. And then it's like, you'll be okay. And then she just is gone.
Yep.
What the?
That was a great cinematic moment in the movie. Like, truly, like everybody was gut punched. Like, everyone in the theater I was sitting at was gut punched, because like at that point you don't know what that is. Are they just vaporized? Are they like done, or are they in this weird other dimension of like trauma rooms?
Right.
Which we found out not too much later. What that is. And that there was coming back from it. But I think that it was a illustration of us not knowing if we can come back from that trauma. Like, when you live in it so much, or you hear the negative stuff so much, like when you feel like there is no hope or there's no light at the end of the tunnel, like, it can feel very final and very like where there is no future.
That's the reality.
Right. So I think it was a nice exercise in this movie to see that, like, even when you are completely enveloped and feel like you have vanished into this darkness, there is still a way out. And these are ways that you can process and get out, I think it was about hope. And I think it was about, like, learning to open up and rely on other people and realize that there are still people around you that care and that will show up for you and be there for you and support you. Like, it was a very positive message movie for me, and that it could so easily have been a dark, depressing movie.
Totally.
I didn't walk away feeling that. I felt uplifted. Like, it's crazy. It really is wild. Like, I left the theater thinking, like, who directed this? Like, why haven't I heard the name of the director that like did this? Because it was really masterful. Home Dude says the dimensions were a trip. I don't know about giving Sentry straight up telekinesis. Well, that's the thing. It's like, he was always OP in the comics, right? Like, Sentry has the power of 1,000 exploding suns or something, like. So
he may be as powerful as Superman in Superman 4. I'm just saying.
At least Nuclear Man, right?
At least Nuclear Man.
Yeah.
I mean,
with this movie, how do you and with the reveal, because Marvel didn't waste any time revealing what the, I guess you could say, true title of the movie is, with the asterisk and everything. How do you feel about the name change? Is it a real name change, or is it just like a little? Do you think they're gonna, when the DVD releases, is it gonna be Thunderbolts or is it gonna be New Avengers? Or, what? How do you feel about them revealing
That's actually probably the most important question. What do they release the physical movie under?
Right. Right.
I don't know.
Or
I didn't think much of it in the movie when I was sitting in the movie at the time.
Yeah.
I really didn't think much of it. I don't think it matters. I don't think it matters what we call the movie. Like I think it's the same thing. It's like I don't think it matters like the name or the persona we put on Sentry, or you know how Val tries to spin whatever to save her ass at the end. Like all of that is just surface stuff, and the guts of the movie just will live with me way more than whatever the title of it is when the DVD comes out. So I don't care if they call it New Avengers. I don't care if they call it Thunderbolts.
I think I have to think it'll still be Thunderbolts, right? But they are going to be referred to as the New Avengers publicly in the next movie. Yada yada yada.
Because they were calling themselves Thunder. So in the movie, Justin, which you didn't see yet,
New Avengers
they
with
call
the
themselves the Thunderbolts, like ostensibly because Yelena had a Pee Wee soccer league or something that she was a part of, and they were like the Thunderbolts. So Red Guardian brought it up, and like they used it as before they became a real team.
About that though, we just had Brave New World come out. We have no tie-in to Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross, right?
Yeah.
We're tying the Thunderbolts into a Pee Wee soccer league team.
Yeah,
so weird.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
it was
a fun anecdote.
Did they call him Thunderbolt Ross in the earlier appearances?
I think so. But it was also the time that Red Guardian said he saw the most joy in Yelena.
Right.
And
so it was a happy.
She wanted to be the goalie because she wanted to make sure like everyone on the team was okay and whatever. So like the Thunderbolts was like a nostalgic and emotionally important name.
I liked it. It's interesting. You know,
the less they connect themselves to Brave New World, the better. Let's be real.
Okay, yeah, fair.
That was a huge plot hole in the movie, though. If you think about it, like, I still can't fall asleep about this. Do we know if the Thunderbolts were sponsored by Shane's Tires or Dimitri's?
It was definitely Shane's Tires. I saw the tires on the limo. No, I'm joking.
There's propaganda. I don't know. Like, who sponsored the team? This is going to change the entire course of the MCU from now on.
Or Shane.
Yeah.
You should go see the movie again and see what you feel when you're coming out of the cinema.
Gotta really digest it. They're like saying.
Yeah.
So going forward, how do you see this movie affecting everything going forward? Like, what do you feel is the next step?
I think where the films that we're seeing or the content that we're seeing from MCU is solely setting up the factions for Secret Wars.
And Doomsday.
Well, I think Avengers Doomsday will partition all of the factions, but right now they're introducing us to all of the teams that will be partitioned. And I think Doomsday will partition them, and then Secret Wars will put them together, and we'll see who the winner is, or if we're going to do a soft reboot for the MCU. But right now, we're just being introduced to all of the separate teams, even though they haven't been separated yet. And that's the end of Brave New World kind of also hinted at that, because I almost called him Brainiac, leader, because the leader said, like, they're coming. The others are coming. So we're going to see Sam Wilson's faction of Avengers. Maybe they'll be the Secret Avengers. Yeah. And and now we have the Avengers. And then we're going to get the Fantastic Four. We're going to get X-Men. So I think because it's a film that there's too many normies. And again, we're catering to the fucking normies. I don't think we'll have more than like 4 teams. I think there's only going to be 4 teams because people can't comprehend more than that in like a movie.
Right. It's a lot of characters for Doomsday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
Um,
Kenny's just trying to get out of reading out the members at the end. I
Mm.
think the new 5 members kind of did it. He's like, no. We got to get this Alexi thing going. Kenny, donate $4.99.
I'm just trying to spread the wealth.
Spread the wealth. All right. Thank you. And Kenny, what Kenny is saying to everyone else, Kenny and John Morrissey are saying,
That's the best you can do.
That's right. That's right.
that's
Also,
what they're-
if I have to critique this, this is more of a seafoam green than a teal. I would
Yeah.
argue the first tier is more of a teal than
right.
that.
It's a little misleading.
Just throwing that out
YouTube.
there. Just throwing it out there.
Let's see here. Let me update the banner here. So this is going to be the team. Like they're going to be seen in Doomsday, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So-
think all of them were named in the chairs reveal of the cast of Doomsday. Do you guys like how Bob was left in the end of the movie?
Well,
Go ahead, Kenny.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know, man. There's like
So
two paths to go down, right? He has to temper the power, right? Because if he uses the power, then we have to deal with the void, and we don't want to deal with the void, and then there's that. So yes, I do like how they did the that first like credit scene. And if that's how we get him for a little bit, I like it, because he's going to like show up again in power, in full power, right? But so I do think that's like a little fun thing. Yeah. So
I think they need to build back up to that, because like
Yeah.
him using his powers could make it worse, which is his original trauma trigger, right? Like,
right.
They kind of have to. He was so overpowered that he has to have some limiting factor, and for it to be like, guys, if I whip out the super strength, like there's
he's their
a
Hulk.
chance
That's
that
that.
I'm gonna kill all you guys. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
He's their Hulk, you know?
Yeah.
He's, it's isn't also Black Knight, like if he uses the ebony blade, like it drives him insane a little bit. Isn't that the comic story?
Yeah, bloodlust. It like enrages his bloodlust. Yeah.
So like it's that light side, dark side of the power, but he's their most powerful member, but they need to know how to harness that and not have it destroy him or anybody else.
Right.
Still get the job done. So like I like that they're leaving that out there. Like, what does that look like? How does he channel all of that energy into something positive instead of letting it like destroy everything? So
it's a good thing Kenny left before you highlighted that comment, because Kenny would be in shambles right now.
Hey,
I agree with Brian. Go ahead.
That's true. You have to balance out these characters. You can't have someone just super powerful and unstoppable, because then there are no stakes, right?
Yeah.
Right.
There has to be a downside to their powers.
It gives you an arc to go on. It gives you
And-
an unanswered question that you need to answer by the next movie. Like,
those
are the Easter eggs and the seeds to plant to make us invest in the future of where this is going. The rocket, the Reed Richards rocket, I would call it.
What's your take on what's in the rocket then?
I think it's them. I think it's all of them. I think it's them traveling.
Oh shit, he's back. Hide the comment. Hide the comment.
Don't
I agree
look
with
at
Brian
this.
Merchant.
Don't look at that.
Don't look at Brian Merchant's comments, Kenny. Oh, he doesn't even have his headphones in. Nothing.
You missed nothing. Nothing, Kenny.
Nothing.
Don't look at the chat.
Don't look at Brian Merchant's comments.
Okay, let's see. All right.
Oh shit, he's about to put him in timeout.
He's typing. He's typing.
Put him in timeout. I agree though. I like the end credit scene actually moved the MCU story forward like they used to, and wasn't just a humor throwaway scene. Exactly. It felt like a really nice return to basics. And Kenny has just unsubscribed from Brian Merchant. And it looks like you're about to be booted from the channel as well.
Yeah.
I think personally that in the trailer for Fantastic Four, when you see the ship overlooking a planet that's imploding, I think the Fantastic Four leaves to go find a solution. And when they come back, it's too late and their planet is already destroyed. So and that's the scene that we're seeing of the planet imploding in the trailer. Right. I also think that what we saw in the post-credit scene of Thunderbolts is maybe it's the Fantastic Four coming to our universe looking for that solution. They find, and when they go back, that's when we get that scene of the planet, their own planet imploding. Or it could just be after the planet has imploded and they're like, I guess we'll just get the fuck out of here.
I think that's what it is it's that Superman thing, right? Brian Merchant.
Yeah, way to go, Brian. Way to go.
Way to go. Anyway, so their planet, they have to get out of there. So now they're coming to the main MCU universe. Could be. Because it is in like a separate part of the universe, right? So it's semi retro, but also modern.
Space. The neo-futuristic.
Yeah. And Galactus is coming, so some shit happens there. Now they're coming to the main universe. Yeah.
What about you, David? What's your take on it?
No, I think I try not to invest in a lot of trailers and
invest in it.
I avoid watching trailers. I don't want to go into a movie with expectations of, I saw this in the trailer. Like, when does this happen in the movie? Like, I don't want any of that. I want them to like engage me with the story and the characters, like this Thunderbolts movie did. I want to go in with no expectations so that I can be pleasantly surprised. So like, I don't know about the imploding scene that you're
because you haven't
about.
seen the trailer, so we're in the spoiler section, so don't be mad.
No, it's fine. Whatever. But
there's
you
also
don't have context for what that really is. So like, it doesn't really tell me anything about what happens in the movie. Because
historically, though, we also know that Marvel lies in their trailers, flat out lies. They add scenes to their trailers that don't actually happen in the films. So
Hulk and
there
Infinity
is a chance. Exactly. Yeah. Hulk and Infinity War, where they're all running towards the camera, and that's famously a flat out lie. That doesn't happen
because Banner isn't transformed.
Yeah. So there is a chance that the imploding planet scene from the trailer doesn't actually happen.
Actually, the whole movie's a lie. The Fantastic Four isn't even in it. It's just like this dude named Joe. Just
everything's a lie. Everybody else.
That's right.
Vanessa Kirby's not actually in it. They're just going to have her be invisible through the whole movie.
They just they only paid her for the promo.
I've actually got her right here.
She was sitting in the chair during the reveals, but you couldn't see her. Cardback says there's a huge twist in F4 that hasn't been widely spoiled yet. I can't imagine because, like, who has seen the movie, like, to spoil it? As long as Herbie's on that ship, I'm happy. Yeah, I mean, I'm super excited. I'm glad. I think it is the whole family in the rocket coming to this reality, and I don't know what it's for. Are they trying to find a new home because their world was destroyed by Galactus? Are they coming to, find other versions of themselves for the Council of Reeds? Any number of things could happen.
It's going to be like a multiverse of madness moment, and the rocket's just going to explode, and they're all dead.
Maybe, right?
That would be great.
Maybe John Krasinski's Mr. Fantastic is in the rocket.
Oh, there we go.
There you go.
It just rains blue spaghetti.
In that case, I hope it is
spaghetti.
Yeah. Who hasn't dreamt of a council of Pedro Pascals, though,
I did just last
We've already got that in everything, right?
That's true.
He's everywhere.
It's going to be Mando. It's going to be Joel. It's going to be
the villain in Wonder Woman 84, which
also the Nick Cage movie.
Yeah,
he's going to show up with Nick Cage.
Where he's like,
that was a fun movie. If you guys haven't,
I love that movie.
His character from Game of Thrones Yeah.
Oh yeah. But he's like his eyes aren't going to be there, like where they're.
Yeah,
like,
they're gone. His
Yeah.
head's already crushed.
Wasn't he in the new Gladiator movie too? The Gladiator 2?
Pedro?
Yeah.
They CGI'd him in there just to get him in there.
I think you're.
I'm joking. I'm joking.
I think you're mistaking him with another guy that just has the same haircut for the movie.
No, I'm pretty sure
main
he's
character.
in every movie.
He's in every movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're probably.
He was
not wrong.
actually in Kubo in the Two Strings.
Oh,
He was
not stop motion though, just him.
Yeah, it was just him. Blink and you'll miss it. He's just standing in the corner somewhere.
Yeah,
he's been everywhere.
I didn't. I've still not seen Wonder Woman 84, so I didn't know he was in that.
Don't bother.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
that's what everyone
So Brian
told me.
Merchant.
Oh no, he wasn't.
Wonder Woman 84. I forgot how bad that movie was. All I'm going to say, I'm not going to talk about Wonder Woman 84. All I will say is, how do you set a movie in 1984 and have no 80s music in a soundtrack?
Too.
They had Blue Monday, no?
What?
I thought they had Blue Monday.
David.
No, in the
Alexi,
trailer.
no. David, you're exactly right. So stupid. It was the biggest thing I hated about that. Well, I hated a lot about that movie, but that was the number one thing I hated about that movie. Who the fuck makes a 1980s movie with no 80s? Yeah.
And set it in the 80s, and you're not sure if the audience is going to actually like the movie. At least put 80s music in the movie.
If you have a banger
people that love
soundtrack,
80s music will have a good memory of watching the movie.
Will save
because
you.
they heard all the Tina Turner's song 1984. The movie was set in 84. At least put one 80s song in the damn soundtrack.
That's all you need.
It was like instrumental music through the whole thing. They did this party at a museum or something where Kristen Wiig was before she turned into Cheetah, and no 80s music in the background in this party in the museum. Nothing. No 80s music. Terrible.
I said the exact same thing while I was watching this. There's not a single 80s song in this movie.
Why even set it in the 80s? If you're not going to use the catalog of amazing 80s music that people just love. I don't know. It's very, very crazy.
Pedro Pascal was in Gladiator 2, by the way.
Thank you.
Just going back to that.
What has he not been in? Honestly,
I'm saying he's in everything. He's literally in everything.
He's in the Apple commercial.
No one's complaining. We love the man, but he's in everything.
David, you don't watch trailers, but you watch commercials, my guy.
I'm forced to watch commercials because I stream stuff and I don't pay for the commercial-free level of streaming services. So I have to
hit me up. I got logins.
Oh, I'm willing to do anything for a login. You know?
That's where we're at in today's society.
He's about to get a login.
So Justin, us talking about Thunderbolts and spoilering everything, does it make you want to see the movie more?
Or less?
Yeah.
Or less?
No, I'm excited about it because I feel like even if you read about something that's going to happen in a movie or you're told about it, it's still not the same as experiencing it yourself because there's little intricacies and little things that you're not going to pick up from reading or just word of mouth, right? So I'm just excited for a good MCU movie, to be honest. I still haven't seen Brave New World. I can't, dude.
Wait for streaming. Wait for streaming.
Yeah, absolutely.
Amanda and I agreed that the fight scenes were really cool. They did a really good job with that. But fuck, man, the green screen, the whole third act is just some bullshit green screen.
Wait, what are we talking about right now?
Brave New World.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm excited to see a good MCU movie because it's just been lackluster. So
yeah,
we can just get back to good storytelling and just good characters and make me care about the characters that are on the screen. I'll be happy, because we all cried when Tony died. It was emotional when Cap left and didn't come back. Right.
Spoiler.
And exactly. When Black Widow died, Alexi, like you said, that was before we got the Black Widow movie, but we still all cared.
Yeah.
and it was nice to finally get her backstory, but we can all say Black Widow should have came out before Endgame. Like it would have made that hit even harder. And at that point, we hadn't lost a main character yet. Like she was the first main Avenger to go, and it was like, well, damn. Of course, it's going to be the girl, right? Like Todd McFarlane funded this movie.
It was also
but you're also like, well, shit, that was ScarJo, though. It's not like just anybody. It's
exactly.
But it's also fucked up that her death wasn't even original. It was like a repeat of Gamora's death. So it's like she can't even get an original death scene. Like she just gets to reenact Gamora's. Like, damn. Like what does Natasha have that's her own? What does she have that's her own?
She's good with guns and superhero pose landings, right?
Okay.
Right. So it's I'm excited. I'm excited about it. Either way, that's why I don't care about it being spoiled, because it's Marvel's already spoiling, what the asterisk means and everything. So it's whatever. I'm just make me care about the MCU again. That's please. And so the MCU had a lot to do with kind of pumping up Marvel Legends when the MCU started getting really like big and everything. It really helped Marvel Legends come along.
Right. Yeah.
So they could really use some help going forward here soon. So that's all I'm saying is, like, if they can make people care about Marvel Legends in general, if the MCU Legends can actually start selling again and not just be, Ollie's fodder, that would really help, Hasbro going forward. And the Marvel Legends brand, so I don't give a shit about Hasbro. It's about the lines you care about. Because they're going to need all the help they can get. Because Kenny pointed out that we didn't talk about the price increases like that are coming. So it's leaked that rumor, I guess, because nobody's came out and put out an official statement, but the new base price is going to be $30 for Hasbro base figures, right? And the deluxe is, what was the deluxe? 50? I don't know.
It's got to be more than that. I think
more than maximum.
Yeah,
the new maximum price is going to be $75.
It's so maximum. It's the most.
What killed me the most in that that post was the Star Wars vintage. So the 3 3/4 figures, $21.99.
I just started.
No, Black Series is fine, Kenny. It's just going to be $30.
Huh?
Right?
Okay, fine.
So, but for a 3 3/4 figure, $22. That's ridiculous. You might as well just get the Black Series. That's ridiculous. I don't. Kurt just woke up in a panic and like sweat like right now. I don't know, man. And the thing is Hasbro, as far as money and like the size of their company, is like top dog up there, like next to Mattel, right? So
Mattel,
every company.
As we said last night, the U.S. has officially launched a war on Mattel, the
nation of Mattel,
the country of
Mattel. Yeah. So, the nation of Mattel is doomed.
All right, it's over. It's over.
Yeah.
It's gonna be done. It's gonna be great.
100% tariffs on the country of Mattel.
Right.
Hey, that's better tariffs than what China's getting. So go ahead.
Well, I guess that's true.
God, how can someone be so dumb? Someone have so much power and be so dumb. But just everyone's gonna follow suit with what Hasbro's doing, and I don't know, man. What kills me the most about all this is Hasbro and Mattel and everybody. They're gonna raise prices and still sell stuff. They're at some point, not that you're ever too big to necessarily fail, but you can kind of slap that label on it, too big to fail. They can allocate money other areas. They can cut salaries. They're not really in any danger. They can weather the storm.
Yeah.
And on the other side of it, they're going to leave prices up. They're not going to bring them back down. That's just the nature of business, right? What I'm mainly worried about are the indie companies, even like not the the tiny ones are just like people that are doing Kickstarters. I'm really worried about that. Like if the stuff's not already on the water or anything like that, that's going to really hurt them. They're just going to have to hold it over there. And hopefully they still can all come through because, all that, it depends on what point of production you're in or anything like that. Then there's companies that aren't tiny, like your you got your I think there's that mid-level, right? Under the main companies, but above like the small companies. You got like your Savage Crucibles upcoming. They're probably more on the smaller side, but you've got like your Four Horsemen, your Valaverse and stuff like that. Those companies are going to feel it so much more than those large companies. And you have to really wonder how long they can weather the storm. And whatever you collect, if you collect a line or don't collect a line, you just don't want to see any of these companies go under, because competition in the toy industry does nothing but help us as the consumer. I don't want to see anybody go out of business, because if you let these large companies come out as the only ones doing anything at the end of it, and your Hasbros and Mattels can just monopolize everything, that's bad news for us, because what that leads to is a new DC line and Marvel Legends all at like $45 a piece. Because where's the competition? What else are you spending money on? If you want to collect toys, this is what you get. And
Facts.
Nobody wants that.
Yeah. And then we all end up like the Void, just yeah, just all sad. All sad. I don't know. But I'll tell you what. The reason I went ahead and backtracked on this guy, that aftermarket is about to be crazy on what I guess whenever vintage, even like newer stuff over the past few years, guys, Eternals MCU figures might be worth 50 cents a piece in a month. It's going to get wild.
They're
It's going to get
skyrocketing.
Wild. Yeah. Target and Walmart are going to be sending people to Ollie's and Ross to buy stuff to bring back to the stores to put on the shelf and sell.
I'm just saying, just go buy whatever's in stock right now. Get out there.
Yeah.
Go.
Just whatever's in stock, just buy it.
Just buy it.
I everyone's gonna have to raise prices. As there's rumors that there could be negotiations here soon, and they could come down to like 80%, right? From 145.
Allegedly, that was today. So I don't know. I didn't see anything.
They met in the country of Mattel, I believe.
They did. Yeah.
There was a summit.
It's a neutral place. Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know, man. It's a negotiation tactic is all it is. But it sucks when and we're speaking from the point of first world problems, right? Like, oh, my hobby's being affected. When? But this is a toy stream, right? This is what we talk about. So I'm not going to talk about how it's affecting like an automobile industry or anything like that, or food or whatever, clothing.
Or do we pivot and start talking about movies?
Right. Yeah. But just from our point of view, we talk about toys. Like, this is a stream about this is a channel and a stream about the hobby of collecting toys. So we're just looking at it from that perspective.
Right.
So, but it can't go any higher, right? Right. He said with a tear in his eye. But maybe eventually it'll go away completely, and we'll look back on this part and laugh, still paying $30 for 6-inch figures that used to be 20. Because they're not going anywhere. But hopefully the success of this movie and the MCU can keep on the upward trend. And I don't want a company like Hasbro, because they're not going to let the Marvel license go, right? I don't want them to pivot and not do collector's items anymore and only do kids items and stuff like that. That would suck for us, right? you can complain about the prices, and the prices are what they are, and I don't like it at all, but at least there's options there, and I don't want the option to go away, even though I don't buy many Marvel Legends anymore, but I still want the option. I want to be the one to decide I don't want the figure. I don't want it to not be made, if that makes sense.
You want to make the choice about the option, right? That's
exactly
collecting. Yeah.
Exactly. I don't want to see him go away, and I hope that's not what we end up. I hope that's not what ends up happening. Because, damn it. But it's so anyway. We forgot to talk about that earlier, but there's our our depressing news for the week right there. But I mean, there's talks happening. At least there's talks happening. The rich people have to decide how us poor people spend our money. So, America,
That's right.
America, guys. But yeah. So the MCU succeeding can't do anything but help our hobby, I guess, is what I was kind of, in there. Because I think about when I really got into collecting, I'd always pick stuff up, but the MCU was big, and that was how I found Marvel Legends. Was like, oh, this Iron Man figure looks cool, and I like the movie. Oh, here's a Thor and everything, and then you start getting more into more lines. You start learning more, and meeting people that you end up tolerating online, and you might start a show with, So
Kenny.
But yeah, so I just hope, fingers crossed, and we'll probably end up talking about it at least for like 5 minutes, like every week. Like, oh, what's new in tariffs and the world of collecting today? What did we pick up off Macari and eBay because Amazon and Target refuses to let us buy anything right now? But yeah, if there's anything you've been eyeballing on any old stuff and you want to backtrack, I'd say you probably should go ahead and backtrack on it now. Like, because as new stuff stops coming out, collectors are going to collect. Like, how many Kenny's over here buying Star Wars and G.I. Joes? How many times in a downtime do you just find a new line or backtrack on stuff? Everyone's going to be doing that exact same thing. And
he still has 2 new Superman figures. So
yeah,
it's
well,
not like he's struggling to find a Superman figure to buy.
Listen, David. God himself could not stop McFarlane from putting out a new Superman figure every week. Okay, it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. There'll be a new one with huge hands next week too. Okay. So, but yeah, I don't know. I'm stupidly optimistic about it though. I'm making myself be optimistic, but I'd say definitely keep an eye on Macari and eBay and backtrack now if you want to backtrack on anything, because like stuff's just gonna start getting crazy expensive in the aftermarket. But guys, did anybody have anything else they wanted to say before we get into this member list and get out of here?
Well, it's still going to be Kenny reading it, and he's abandoned us.
That's
now.
why. That's exactly why Kenny abandoned. He felt me wrapping the show up. So I'll say we are only 2 $5 super chats or more away from Alexi reading the member list as Red Guardian. Act now. It's like if I could have like a flash.
Kenny, did you find $10 more in coins in the couch cushions while you were out?
First of all, I will never not get a Superman figure. All right, so just saying. All right, I'm not struggling for Superman figures. They're out there. I'm gonna get them.
Do you have the crappy DC Icons one? The Rebirth DC Icons with the ugly face?
Oh.
Yeah, I think
I think so. I gotta look.
I'm sure it does.
Gotta take a look.
All right. I'll send you a picture of it later, and you can tell me if you have it or not.
Like if it exists,
I have some pretty bad Superman figures.
We know.
No, we know you have McFarlane.
Yeah.
So let's see here. Cardback's trying. He is trying. He put a teal color in the chat. Cardback has gifted $50 and revoked 30 Just Justin Collects memberships.
Yeah,
There are now
that
only
counts. I feel like that
three
counts. Yeah,
I don't think
Perfect.
that counts. I don't think that counts.
I'm pretty sure. it
Okay,
does.
guys. So
It's in the.
I guess we're in the
Constitution.
goal.
Yeah.
How about
Yes, we're-
I can read the MVP section as Red
Okay.
Guardian, and
Okay.
Kenny
You
can
know what?
do the
All
regular.
right, all right, all
We
right.
made it
That
3.5
seems like a
ways there.
fair.
3.5 ways there. 3.5
Yeah.
out
That
of
seems like
5
a
ain't bad.
compromise. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Also,
Oh.
I did put in the $1.99 chat that I thought was teal colored,
3.5.
which was not teal colored. Apparently,
Sorry.
YouTube thinks that teal is seafoam green. So just saying, check it out.
Also, looking at the chat on my phone and then looking at it in StreamYard, like even Cardback's blocks are two very different colors.
Exactly. Exactly.
Like it's
That's what I'm
green
saying.
on my phone, but teal
Colors
on
are-
StreamYard.
The colors are not
Yeah.
coloring.
It's
Okay.
it's very
It's-
green on YouTube, but it's a little more teal on StreamYard. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
smell a conspiracy theory starting up.
That's
So,
what I'm doing.
thank you
Boiling
everybody
it
for staying with us. So now you get a little bit of reward and a little bit of a punishment. Okay, I'll let you
Most
decide which is which. Okay,
See, it's like the
I'll
dark
leave
and
that-
the light in Thunderbolts.
Right.
It's, you know,
Very
Yeah,
on
there
theme,
you go.
David.
There you go.
Very on theme. So, reading out our Justified MVP's special guest to the stream and friend of the channel. Here is Alexi, the Red Guardian.
Let me let me warm up. Let me get into character real quick. Justified. Okay, I'm gonna cough if I do it too hard. Okay. Welcome to Collecting Justified, most mighty stream on YouTube. I'm here to shout out all comrades who support mighty stream. Hello to me, the Red Guardian, Z-Man 12 Bat, mighty comrade, first channel member here at Collecting Justified. Welcome to the MVP. You, sir, are MVP. Legion X, I salute your displays, sir. Beautiful collector Rick, very, very mighty. Compulsive collector, you could ride in the tank with me. You look like you could load a shell or two, comrade. John Morrissey, the best friend of leader, fearless leader, just Justin collects, no one else. David Evan Smith, beautiful man. Many women want him, many men fear him, whether they like it or not. Michael Davis, welcome to Justified MVP. I have never seen your face or your words, Michael Davis, but I salute you, comrade. St. James, I seen your face, I seen your collection. Welcome to the mighty Collecting Justified MVP. And last but very least, Encounter Culture. Who needs Superman when you have Super Family? Welcome to the Justified MVP. Hello, comrade. And now I give it to you.
Bam. Justified. Wonderful, Alexi. Wonderful. Is your throat okay after that?
It'll be great later.
Oh, man. Wonderful. Wonderful. Card back. This stream has become my void room.
No regrets.
All right. So, Kenny, I mean, you just have to follow that up.
Yeah.
Okay?
So now I'm also going to read them as Alexi, but Alexi doing Red Guardian.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Better.
No,
Perfect.
I'm joking. I will not.
Dude has the void. Just depressed white guy. You're normal guy.
Okay. Are you ready? Do you have a black screen? Could you just
Just cut the stream now.
Sad music.
That's it.
If there's sad
We're
music.
done. Well, the Justified. Here we are again. We've been down this road before. I've once or twice referred to you as the lesser than. Against my better judgment, I come to you in a time of need and redemption. I no longer refer to you as the lesser than. I've now promoted you to the better than. You are the better group. Because listen, we just had a communist Soviet spy read off the Justified MVPs. And between you and me, we're better than that. So I just want to put that out there. If you're still out there listening, I miss you. And I think about you daily. Honestly, that's just where I am in life now. Thinking about how cool it must be to be justified. MVPs, what does that even stand for anymore? Most valuable person, most valuable player, most venerable person, probably, likely. I guess.
My phone battery will not survive this. I
okay. Well, dial in.
Just
plug
saying,
that. Plug that shit in. Sit back. You gotta get a charger, okay? Because we're going.
I was 100% when I started this stream.
And I'm 100% right now, okay? If you know what I mean. And we haven't even gotten to the names yet. Okay? Yeah. How many minutes have passed?
Yeah.
I don't know. Many. Most minutes, honestly, if we're thinking about it. If I think back to last Tuesday, I was walking in my garden and I was thinking about how could I talk about the Justified? You know, how do you even classify such a beautiful group of individuals? You know, what I would refer to as the best individuals on YouTube. A group of individuals who are, like I said, not lesser than, certainly better than. They are the best group of people on all of YouTube. I mean, have you been on YouTube? There are, I think, 3 trillion videos. That's probably not accurate, but there's a lot of videos on YouTube. And this group is probably the best group of people out of those 3 trillion that I made up. But I didn't make them up. We made them up because YouTube is a collective effort. You know what I mean? It's just what we're here to do. We're all here. Okay. We're sitting here. We're there. You're there. Everybody's here or there or everywhere or somewhere, whatever. I don't know. It's up to you. You do what you just do what you want to do. Okay. Where were we? Right. The Justified. Okay. So we have Dan who reviews. Dan does reviews. He does those. Okay. He's done them. He'll continue to do them, whether we like it or not. Okay. We don't ask for them. He just does them. Right? That's just his shtick, if you will. Okay. Christopher Allen, everyone's favorite. We love him. We praise him. He sent me a Bizarro figure. I'm looking forward to receiving said Bizarro figure. Okay. rich, displayed once. Are you guys enjoying this? All right. No one's enjoying this. All right. I understand that this is, never mind. You guys are dealing with
I love
this.
it. I love
This
it.
is exactly what you all deserve. All right. I'm going to make this slap.
What you all deserve. Now that's void.
Yeah. All right. We're over 3 hours. Yeah. This is going to be a 4-hour stream. All right. Rich, displayed once. I displayed something once. And then after I displayed that, I displayed something twice. Thrice. Four. That's not a word. Oh, is there music playing? No. Okay. I feel
They're
like
playing you off. They're
Yeah,
playing you
all
off
right,
the stage.
No, this is perfect. No, this is good background. This is beautiful. I love it. All right. Kirk K. Kirk K is a man of valor and grace. A man who has decided that he will dedicate some of his Star Wars collection to me, or as he told me, he will give me some BS. I assume that was Black Series, but others have suggested it might be bullshit. I'm not quite sure yet. Cole's Cave takes the most elegant pictures I've ever seen. I see them, he takes them. That's how that works. There's rain, there's sun. Sometimes there may be, we lost David. Sorry, David. Sometimes there may be a comic book setting. There may be a living room setting. I don't know. I don't know what Cole does, but what he does resonates to the heart. And I appreciate it. Your boy's got toys. He's right here with us. Against his better judgment. Thank the Lord. For your boy's got toys. Every night I go to sleep and I think, what would Alexi think about what I've done with my collection? And I go to sleep knowing that I have no idea what Alexi thinks about what I would do with my collection, but I hope he likes it. I honestly don't care, but I love Alexi, so that's okay. Bring toys to work. Speaking of another person who I think about daily, the other day, Michael showed me his secret closet. And that's not a euphemism. He actually showed us his secret closet. It was a secret closet full of toys, which was very satisfactory, if I have to say for myself. I felt like when he opened that door, it opened a door into a world I've never been, which is true because it's honestly a world I've never been. But I thought for a moment, damn, I wish I had such a spacious closet that I could put toys in because they're taking up too much space elsewhere. Yes, Jesse Hubbard. So many weeks I've told you, Jesse Hubbard, that I would not refer to a mother in a cupboard. And here we are again for the 19th week where I refer that to you. And I apologize. I want to take a step back and recognize you as someone who does not have a mother who lives in a cupboard. I don't know if that's true. Maybe you do. I don't want to take that away from you if that is the truth. I'd like to get to know more about you, Jesse Hubbard, because frankly, it's hard to come up with something fun to say when you just put Jesse Hubbard there. All right, if we're being honest. I'm working hard here, okay? Super Turk 5000. Turk came to America he went on a journey far, far away. He took his hard-earned cash and traveled across the seas to what was once referred to as the land of the free. And he landed in fabulous Las Vegas. And damn, he went there with some money in his pocket, hopeful to win the jackpot. And did he win the jackpot? I don't think so. I'm pretty sure he lost everything. And on top of that, he had to spend time with Alexei. So I don't know if there was anything to win from that other than spending time with Alexei, okay, who may or may not have worn pants. If you know, you know. All right. Mikey Moonboots, formerly known as Miley. We see you. We hear you. You've been around and you're still here. I hope you had a good journey. I am actually very jealous of all of you who live in Europe because you take some very cool journeys from time to time and you share them. And then I'm like, well, yes, but also I could drive to Georgia. And that just doesn't sound as cool as flying to Portugal. But whatever. I take what I couldn't get. Okay. Mikey, we see you. Jay's toy collection. I love you, Jay. You may have died the day you were listening to me, and you didn't. But if you did, no, I don't want to go down that road. You may have died the day you were listening to me, but you didn't. And that's good. We're glad you're still here. As I've said previously, I'm pretty sure the thing to take away from any of this is that if you're doing any sort of housework or remodeling or anything, if you need to take a wall out of your house, play the recap, and just sit back and relax. The work will do itself. Okay? That's all you got to do. Just put it on and go. Chi-Chi Collects was actually here tonight, you know? Chi-Chi took time. Many weeks I associated Chi-Chi with hepatitis C, and I was surprised that Chi-Chi would actually show up, because if I was associated with hepatitis C, I probably wouldn't show up. So, you're the better man, Chi-Chi. You're the better man. And I appreciate you for more than one reason. I just don't know what that other reason is, but next week I'll probably tell you. Jared Byrne. This is the moment I've been waiting for. Each week, Jared comes in and tells me how I did not say anything cool about him, which is true. I don't. It's hard, like I said, going back to you, Jesse Hubbard. For those of you who just put your name there, what do I derive from that? I cannot infer anything from just your name, unless it rhymes with something fun. But last week, during the very short Legends and Liquor stream that Dan Hu put on that only lasted 10.5 hours, Jared did show off his collection, and I was taken aback. Nay, I was inspired by such a beautiful collection. Let me tell you something about this collection. This collection spawns across many walls. There are depths to this collection. There is a tank. There is a water feature. There are G.I. Joes. There are tanks. So many things are happening. It is a beautiful collection. one that I have never seen so gratefully. It has grace, it has grandeur. There are only so many words I can use to express how great this collection actually is. You should see it. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. Kyle M. I still assume that this is my friend that I met when I was 11 years old, but I'm 99% sure that's not the case. But hope is still there. I know a guy named Kyle M. I don't think it's you. Or it could be, because it seems like he would just make his name Kyle M. Because, you know, it's just the kind of guy he is. But Kyle M., either way, we appreciate you. You're not forgotten. David's not here now, but I will try to pronounce this correctly. I'm not going to do it right. Yes. Yves. We're going with that. I think earlier in the stream, when Justin said it, I actually knew what the pronunciation was, and I corrected him verbal, like inside my head. And now I think I missed it. And David's not here to correct me. And with that, I think we should move on to Kevin Beatty. Kevin's been around. He's loyal. He's been here. He's in the chat. Always supporting. And if you think about it, you really have to look at the people who have been supporting you for so long, you know? It's not just about the people who showed up today, although we love you and we appreciate you, but the people who have just been there. And Kevin, you've just been there, you know? And we like that. Nay, we love that. Okay? Thank you. Arvin Shah. Arvin Shah. Arvin Shah. I like the name Arvin. It's like Marvin, but you take off the M. Marvin, you know? So you just like save a step. And to me, that's pretty efficient. Jesus Christ. We will remember you. VIP Princess Productions. I still have a lot of questions about this, but also like VIP Princess Productions. No, I still have a lot of questions about it. DM me with details. There's probably some cool stuff going on behind the scenes of that channel or name or whatever. Anyway, your girls got Legos. You may have heard of Your Boys Got Toys, but you just can't have Your Boys Got Toys. There's always a better half. And that better half is referred to as Your Girls Got Legos. And we got to see some Legos before this show. And that's not a euphemism. They were actual Legos. We saw some Legos before this stream. It was Darth Maul. And it was beautiful. Cedric Brown. Cedric Brown. Why the fuck are there 20 people here? What is wrong? We're back. We've been through this.
There's actually 32.
There's more. Yeah, there are.
Everywhere we're streaming to.
We're on a couple of channels, so there are more than 30 people dealing with this right now, and I don't know why. I don't want to take any time from Cedric Brown, but again, guys, please come up with a little fun name. You know, it makes my job easier. Here, it's a little bit harder to have a little fun with just your name, okay? With Cedric Brown, I like the name Cedric. That's what I got for you. I'm sorry. M-A-R-S. Spells Mars. I've never been to Mars. I was going to tell you that I've been to Mars, but that would be a lie. And I don't like to lie to you guys. I like to be really forthright. I like to be honest, open, transparent, tell you about the experiences that I've had. And I'll tell you one experience I've never had, going to Mars. Because you know why? None of us have been to Mars. So I'd be lying and you would know it right away. That'd be fucked up. So I don't want to be that guy. Love y'all. Makata, last weekend, you jumped on Dan Who's 10.5-hour short stream. It was a little bit of your day, I'm sure. We appreciate you jumping on, you know, getting on camera, doing this. Well, doing this is different than just doing that, you know. Don't do this. I'm just saying, don't do whatever this is. But you know what? Collect what you want to collect, man. You're young. Get a lot of stuff going on. You don't have to buy stuff just to buy stuff, you know. You like something, just buy it. You're new to you're at the front end of it. It's like the best part. It's the greatest part of it all, you know. It's all open to you. See what you like. Just pick a few things. Frankly, at your stage, don't backtrack. You know, all the shit's gonna come out eventually. Don't panic buy like me. Don't start collecting G.I. Joes and Star Wars just because, like, you're an addict or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, just do what you want to do. Anyway, let's move on. Uncaged Otaku. That sounds like some weeb shit. I'm pretty sure Justin probably knows what those words mean. I don't think I do. We'll come back to you. I'm going to give Justin a moment to explain that to me, but welcome and thank you for being here. Burgos LJ. Burgos Long Johns or Burgos lemon juice. Whatever you like. You like Long Johns, lemon juice, whatever. It doesn't matter. Burgos. I kind of like I like saying Burgos. It's like burger, but Burgos. Like burger. I like a burger ghost. Burgos. Yeah. It's fun. That's fun to say. I'm here for it. Shane Shooter shooting the shit, shoot, chap, shoot. That's what we're just doing here. We're just shooting the shit with Shane Shooter, who has been a channel member before and is now back. And as much as Cardback would like to be a channel member, I'm going to be honest with you, Cardback. Shane Shooter has been gifted like 5 channel memberships in a row. I don't think Shane Shooter has ever paid for. I'm just sorry.
No,
not
it's been several times in a row.
Not lesser thans. I'm just saying. Cardback. You gotta up your game. You gotta. I don't know how that works, but Shane Shooter's got one on you, Cardback. That's all I'm at. That's all I'm saying. Mark, Tac Toys. If you guys aren't watching Tac Toys, Mark gives you a little bit of an update every week or so. Flicks and figs. Nice little thing. He's got a thing going. Mark is an army builder. If you like army builds, That's the channel to go to. Just check out more. Look, we're all out there. We've all got a network of channels to check out. And I wouldn't steer you wrong. Or I might actually. I don't know. Probably I will. Look where we are with this. Card back. How long have we been doing this? It's been 30 minutes yet. Still 31 people watching, by the way. KJ Smith. KJ, what does that stand for? Kick job? Kick job Smith. One time I remember being in the state of Ohio. I was out on a trip. I was just going to a bar. The bar was called TJ Willie's. Fun bar. I don't think it exists anymore. This was a long time ago in my youth. Okay. But I'm not sure where I'm going with this, but I'm going to connect it. Don't worry, KJ. Don't worry. So I was out there. I was in Ohio at this TJ Willie's bar. So I was with some friends. We were on a work trip, and yeah. Oh, we probably got really drunk, and then we were in the parking lot doing kicks. They're like doing kick jobs. Yeah. All right. Sure. Whatever. Anyway, moving on. STM Figures. Glad to see that you're still here, STM Figures. A page I follow on Instagram as well with STM Figures. So yeah, STM, we're glad you're here. We're glad to see you. We've seen all of you. And now that we've wrapped up, I'm going to start over. I'm going to actually read from the back all the way to the beginning. Oh, just in case. RIP.
Gone but not forgotten.
That's right.
Forever in our hearts.
Justin, please tell me you made that while I was doing that, didn't you?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because it took so long.
Fuck. Card back with the conclave comments. Perfect.
Dude, that is a conclave. The music was awesome, by the way.
Yeah, I went and downloaded the music and uploaded it to StreamYard while you were doing it.
The picture of David is so good. Fucking seriously?
Oh god, I should have put a flip phone in there too.
Damn.
Oh man. Oh, perfect. Let me mute this music. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh gosh. Thank you everybody who is still here watching, and also what the hell is wrong with you?
Make sure you hashtag ASMR, and like that last hour will be good for that, you know.
Yes. I'm gonna add to the David Memoriam picture for next week, because everyone is a glutton for punishment here. Thank you everybody for watching, and thank you Kenny, thank you Alexi. Follow these guys, as well as follow David. Even though he's gone, he is not forgotten, and you can still go to his Instagram and follow him and post RIP on his most recent post for us, please. Let's get that going. So thank you everybody. Follow these guys, link in the descriptions down below. Everybody have a great night. Kenny, you are a fucking legend.